Dang, Eric. Oh, is this thing on? Hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
Hello there. This is General Kenobi. Hey, this is David from Black Spire Broadcast.
Hey, I'm Todd Freeman, also known as Toad.
Hey guys, Appleton for Collectibles here.
Well, hey, I'm Seth with Rogue Squad Garage.
Hey, it's J2SO.
Hi, I am Mark. Welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
This is Joel Hosey at Hosey Customs.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Yo, this is Evan the Collector.
Yo, it's your man Flex, and you're watching the Spice Runners Lounge.
Hey, this is Brian from Brian Makes Dioramas, and you're watching the Spice Runners Lounge.
And you are watching the Spice Runners Lounge. And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
And you're watching Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to Spice Runners Lounge.
Join me and together we can rule the galaxy.
And welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge.
Welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge, where we hang out and talk dank ferric. I am your host, Evan the Collector. Today we have a special guest, Guillermo Olivo. He is an Emmy award-winning or Emmy-nominated film and TV director. He's like one of our awesome, favorite documentaries called Plastic Crack. So welcome, Guillermo.
Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Next, Guillermo, we have our boy Scotty Keys back in the house. Welcome back, Scotty.
Welcome back. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes.
Hello, Scotty. Hiding in the background, we got the 1-1 scale, Joe Hosey.
Hey, guys.
Where are you driving to, Joel? Yeah, where's Joel driving? Where are you going?
I'm going to your house.
He's on my house. Okay. All right.
He's going to sell it to some Jawas.
I know, right? We're going to steal from them. Yeah, next to Joe, we got our boy Brian Makes Dioramas back in the house. Welcome back, Brian.
Hey.
Always good to see you, Brian.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. And then pod racer extraordinaire, J2SO. Welcome back, dude.
Okay. Now this is podcast.
Dude, that's awesome.
Go ahead. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
That actually, he actually looks more accurate of how Anakin should have looked like.
Yeah, because most 10-year-old boys have beards.
Right.
That's funny. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Another Friday night. So we're gonna talk about Guillermo's story. We'll talk about his show. But before we get into all that, Scott, what are the words of the night?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. Because why don't you just introduce? I mean, did you say one of the things that Guillermo's done?
Yeah. Plastic crack.
So this coincides with that. So the words of the night are plastic, toys, and collecting.
Yeah, so here's guys. First drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this reminds me of my mom saying, "They'll go out with those kids. They just want you to get drunk."
Yeah. It could be funny. Dangerous.
Yeah, so let's see what's up to everybody in the chat real quick. So we got Joe in the house. People.
Hey,
so
Joe.
Let's go, Green Man, ready to watch my boys.
Mm-hmm.
You got Santino, ¿Qué pasa, hermanos? We got Dan from DMD. Howdy.
What's up, Dan?
What's up, Dan?
Jedi Shizzle in the house. What's up?
My nizzle.
You got Chris Elliott. Gonna miss the show.
Can't make the show, yeah.
It's all good, man. Thanks for dropping by. You got our girl trooping with. What's up, Rob? And you got the other half of the Bowman clan, Benjamin. What's up?
Benjamin.
Then we got Michael Barrett in the house. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Michael.
What's up, Michael?
A lot of conversations. What's up, Johnny? How's it going? Got J2SO pulling double duty. Oh, we got McFly in the house. What's up, dude?
McFly.
You got MCAS. Happy Friday, all.
What's up? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Got Brian in the chat pulling double duty. Got Doug Collector.
Popcorn.
Got Raging Mando. So much scum in the building.
Yeah, that's true.
Got Eric up in the house. What's up, dude?
What's up, Eric?
I don't know if we said hi to him. I think we did. You got Bounty Toy Hunter. What's up, dude? He's like, Anakin, is that you?
I think his name is going to get us in trouble.
I know, right? Then Dupac for a show, but he's in the process of moving.
Yeah.
So which state is he currently in right now?
California.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why he's not in the room with me. He's on the other side of the country.
Well, I thought maybe he was driving over.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's doing an open house this weekend, so his house is finally on the market. We got Eric Montgomery. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
Hey, Eric.
We got our boy Jens in the house. Let me see if he pops up.
Hey, what's up, Jens?
Hey, wait till you see what I'm working on, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
We got OJ. What's up, man? Bad man.
Bad man, I love it.
Homie Mike, OG Geek. What's up?
Hey, OG.
Hey, Mike.
He's the reason I met Guillermo, because they were in the same booth at MegaCon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but Mike is a really nice fella.
Oh yeah, Mike's awesome.
Yeah.
Got Star Wars Attic 88.
What's up, man?
So we're missing our boy 77 because he's out on a date tonight, on a hot date.
Whatever.
What's up, Matt? Welcome to the Spice Runners Lounge tonight.
Hey, man.
You got Rex in the workshop.
Yep.
This thing's been killing it.
Dude, love the name every time I see it. And you know that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And dude, digging your stuff. The Tuscan head came out really good.
Nice.
Great job, man.
Yeah, he just did something else too. I think Inquisitor. I think it's in the thread for the show tonight.
Nice.
What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Kyle.
Oh, Matt's Collection. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy?
Matt.
Oh, we got Rick, Left Coast.
Hey, Left
Shaking.
Coast.
Nice.
Hashtag. Oh, we'll put up the hashtags again here shortly.
Yep. Hashbag,
Got our
bag.
boy Flux in the house.
Hey,
What's up, boys?
yeah.
Mom. Magic of Myth. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, so that's everybody that's in the chat so far. So welcome, everybody. Where's the night?
Hmm.
All right, so let's get into it. So for those that didn't miss the intro, Guillermo is an Emmy-nominated film TV director. He's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff with Latin America. He has an awesome documentary. Oh, you won it?
Won. The Emmy, yeah.
Oh, nice! Congrats, man. Which one did you win it for?
What was that?
Which film did you win it for?
It was a documentary that NBC, Universal, Telemundo, they're like four moms in there, had a joint venture with Vice News. And we shot a documentary on the border, about the stories on the border. Like,
awesome, dude.
It was nominated and knocked it out of the park.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it turned into a book and everything. Like,
Wow.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Thank
You
you.
get your ID updated. That's awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it says you also won 2 Gold Pro Max awards.
Yes, I have a few of those because a few of my clients were used to hire me for their promos of the network promos, and one of those was a former employee, and I used to run the promotions department in that company, and so when I got out, they just kept calling, and so I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think I gave a very high level of your background. So Guillermo, tell us about yourself. Tell us about what you do, how you got into Star Wars.
And I'm not used to being on this side of the camera. Although I've been like the last couple of years, I started podcasting with friends, mostly in Spanish, And so that gave me a little bit of confidence of being on the other side. That's why I get distracted. Like, I think the image is too bright, or the framing is like this. And at the beginning, I was like freaking out because I was looking at from the director's hat. So it's like hard to concentrate where you're like looking at details, and at the same time you have to say something. Well, I think we should talk about Star Wars, right? That's where. Well, funny that you have such an amazing dioramas and custom makers and stuff like that, because what I do for a living is completely attached to Star Wars since I was like 8 years old. So I got into Star Wars like everyone else due to the movies, thankfully, and then the toys came in with full force, and I was already What did I say?
I don't know.
Toys, but it's okay. No, it's okay. You don't just keep talking.
You took it from me. There you go. Now we're talking.
You can keep talking. Everybody else gets that still.
So then I came with this crazy idea that never happened, actually, that I wanted it to recreate in stop motion. I was doing stop motion probably when I was 10 or 11, like home rough stop motion. And so I came like, what if I do the whole film with toys?
Oh, we got a call.
Toys again.
That's okay. It's all good. And he said it again. It's okay.
Well, you take 2 shots. There you go. So I made like, there was no PowerPoint back then or anything like that. And obviously my Star Wars films were on a VHS tape. And so I just literally found a way to film the screen without like the usual blur, and I pretty much screenshot every single take on A New Hope, and then I called my dad with the tape, and I was like, look, I'm trying to recreate this thing, so as you can see in this shot, they have 5 X-wings, so I need 5. Okay.
right.
And then of course the opening sequence is like 20 something stormtroopers and some crazy amount of stuff. That never happened. I mean, like, it was like, you're asking me for like $2,000 right now, you know? That never happened, but I did ended up doing the stuff with toys. And so what I like, you made it really hard. How can you avoid that question?
You don't have to like do it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
So it was very interesting because that started my how do you call it? My diorama interest, my army building interest. I think it was also like a very childish way to justify that I just want more action figures. There you go. Ha! I didn't use the other word. No. So I started building like dioramas, and that grew. And if the video that you kindly reposted of my Star Wars collection, there you go. There's another one.
Yeah, they try to kill us, so it's all good.
Yeah. Like, if I actually had liquor there, it won't last like 10 more minutes at this rate. So as you can see, the focus of my collection is to create some sort of diorama and to try to replicate some of these key scenes of some of the shots. So I have like a hot large section. I think it's like 10 feet long, a straight line, because I ran out of space of hot scenes. And same thing with the middle, the crown jewel of the entire collection is the center, which is in the other room, not in this one. Is in the center with the House of Barge, and I call it like a desert scene in general, because you can get from pod racers to, I don't know, to the cantina to all the way across the corner is the sail barge. So it's like 3 different movies, and then pretty much that triggered my desire to tell stories and film stories and capture stories with video devices. I started with a little 8mm camera that my dad had, and that became my life pretty much. Like, it's either Star Wars or filming.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. I think it sounds like what Star Wars did for you was get the itch to want to film this stuff, to create, to do that. And that's another thing that it did, instead of just like, oh, I want to be a filmmaker and I like Star Wars. It's like Star Wars, being a kid, you're like, no, I want to do it myself. I want to recreate this.
Correct. I was hoping to be the next JJ, but that didn't happen. Yeah, I also remember seeing on Sci-Fi, I believe, a documentary of behind the scenes and how to create creatures. So I'm pretty sure you are aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like, oh, the moment I saw that, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do for a living. Like, I want to play with fiction characters, creatures from other planets, and then one thing led to another, and here I am.
So
like
do you feel
complete opposite, like documentaries on the border?
That's what I was gonna say. You've gone more to documentaries than like a full feature film. Do you want to do a non-documentary, more of a sci-fi kind of?
I have already, and
Okay.
I've done pretty much, like, especially here in Florida, you have to be like a Jacob of all trades. Like, I've done reality shows, I've done award shows, like sports stuff. The best of the other awards that even was describing are related to sports stuff. So it's a little bit of everything, but you know, documentaries is like, no, if you drive in Hollywood and you see all the mansions, none of those guys makes documentaries.
Right.
It's the least paid, but it's the most passionate at the same time. Like, where
it's also the most interesting half the time. I mean, there's some amazing documentaries out there that are just you're glued to it. You get sucked into it more than a lot of films that are out there. So,
but none of them are profit motivated. They're more passionate.
Thank you, Mr. Santino. Yeah.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Oh, and, thanks.
And so,
you're a feisty little one.
I have to take that back. Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, now that you play EV99, I know, due to the amount of times that I saw Return of the Jedi, I can literally mimic every single line by memory, on time, when it happens. I'm not even looking at the screen.
I do the
All
same.
right, I'll try you. Ready?
You're a feisty.
Okay, we got that one.
The mighty Jabba asks why he must pay 50,000.
You're told.
Because he's holding what?
A terminator.
And then you gotta go. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I actually painted one of the earlier part of the Force 2, like the red cards. I painted a Tripio. They were so cheap that I got like a second Tripio and added like the green thing on the face just to mimic that moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
So just a reminder to be careful with those words.
Good luck.
It only provokes them.
Yeah, exactly. And then they start making up full stories using all three words.
Yeah.
You watch, you'll see them.
Let me get it. Because the next step was,
so
I'm just going to drink it. I'll go and buy some. Boom, boom.
It goes. That's why I said this.
It's a trap.
Right. So I got to a point in my life that I could afford, because the thing about creating any type of media out there is that you need to find the money, which is like the
hard part,
the darkest part of it, and then go into production and hopefully don't go over or run out of money before that, and then hopefully try to sell it. It's that you're rarely. It's a very horrible game. But I got into a time in my career, in my life, that I could afford doing things without the issue of, oh, maybe I don't sell it, or maybe you always hope for that, but when you have that pressure, it totally compromises the concept. And so I was talking to this good friend one day, and he's like, how come you have not made something for collectors? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And there you go. And then I go, there, you're right. And so we started talking, and we started following Irving Santiago. The whole thing it started with we had a hurricane warning, and basically the governor said, like, get out of town. This is a nuclear bomb. It was literally a storm that was the size of the state, which is a large state. And the east coast of our area was deemed like we told you guys are going to get flooded. I mean, we're not going to be able, we don't have the manpower to get everyone out. If you don't leave now, you're like mandatory evacuation.
Yeah.
So I was packing, getting stuff ready, bringing stuff down that I knew if like a tree or something hit the wall, these things will fall. I was packing, and I went to Atlanta with my family. So the day before, I called Irving, which is a very good friend of mine, and go, so what are you doing? you might. I mean, your documentaries are amazing, Mike. I'm telling you, it might be Monopoly $1,000,000, but you definitely make something. It's really hard. It's really hard to sell that, but he's doing amazing things. I mean, it goes without saying. If you're all familiar with he's as a matter of fact, when we went to MegaCon, he was only doing that, and that's why that video like looks amazing, because he wasn't just focused on selling. Going back to my story, so I called Irving just to check on him, because he happened back then. He was living on an area that was, the forecast was like destroyed. So I'm like, how are you gonna do? Because the house is just incredible. It was just like boxes and boxes and boxes. You could barely walk in that place. He's like, well, I'm not going anywhere. And I mean, what do you mean you're not going there anywhere? And he's like, no, if it goes down, I'm going down with my toys. So, and the storm was like, I'm sorry, the storm was like off the coast at that time. And then I'm like, well, do you mind if I go there like in 30 minutes with a camera? And we recorded the whole thing, and that was the catalyst. And then I started recording people to try to make like not just about Irving, try to give an arch on the whole thing, and like, let's talk about what your wife thinks, that type of stuff. And then Carlos Veron, which is a collector from Orlando, introduced me to Justice Curry in Michigan. I love his story. He battled alcohol by switching over one addiction to a healthier addiction. And I love the story and everything. We talk about, for me to justify going to Michigan with a crew and everything, I need like at least 5 more collectors, to give me some beef.
Thank you, George.
And he found like 20, something like that.
Nice.
So we spent it up on a rough winter, like 2 weeks in Michigan, filming people all over the place. The thing is that Michigan has like this weird, I actually found out why. This thing that if you throw a rock, you're probably gonna hit a collector. Like loaded everywhere. There's collection, mini collection, tiny connection. Amazing, yeah, it's like loaded. But they were so close to Detroit that had the center point of the car industry in the 80s. That all those kids were like super spoiled, because they were like that's with a lot of money. And if you want to go and find a flag, a USS flag for G.I. Joe, go to Michigan. They're like half price, and they're like everywhere and stuff like that.
Aircraft carrier?
Correct, the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
thing's huge.
So I was supposed to do one feature. I was hoping not to surpass the 120 minutes. But after Michigan, I came back where I think it was like 43 hours of footage. So... So one of my producers was like, what are we going to do with all that? Because that doesn't fit into 120 minutes, no matter how much you in the horrible stage of deciding what to keep. And she's like, why don't we make a series? And that's when everything went to hell, because now I'm currently editing season 2. We have enough room for a 3rd season.
That's awesome, though.
Wow,
yeah.
It's
awesome.
like when I've shot videos for what I have to do, I'll do it, the video needs to be like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do or I'm going to play. So you just film everything. Then you move everything over and you're like, crap, I've got 45 minutes worth of stuff that I got to trim down,
And that's horrible, because it's like heartbreaking. I have to let this go and blah, blah, blah. And then we've taken so long to release season 2 because, what does that say?
So FU stands for Facebook user. So we started calling him FUs. Yeah, Facebook user, because that's what he comes up. He says it's Brian Boys. This week's Facebook's FU guy. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Okay, sorry.
So it's taken so long for us to release season 2 because this happened shortly before COVID, and a lot of people that we tape. Because I also once, let me try this back. Season 1 was released, and then I'm like, oh, now we're gonna take this on a bigger level. So we filmed in Brazil, in Australia, in Mexico, and where else? We filmed like in a few, right? To make it more broader, also, and so regrettably, some of the people that were filmed are no longer with us. They didn't pass COVID. So now I have to switch and change the whole arc, because now I have to be more respectful. And so that's why it's been like we've done like 4 drafts of season 2 already. And now I'm happy where we are, because I like when we were on the selling pitch, like one streamer, which I'm not gonna notice the name, said like, well, you need to add a little bit more like a mockery angle and just make fun of all these crazy people with rooms filled with collectibles. Is that not a word?
Oh. That's part of it.
So I said no. I turned out a really nice offer, because I'm one of those crazy guys with room filled with action figures. So I think that word is not on the list. And so I said no to a bunch of stuff because I wanted to keep it pristine. Like one of the characters that shows, like one of the people in this case, I should say, that shows up in the whole documentary. One streamer said like, I don't like that guy, so why don't you chop him out of the whole thing?
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Nice.
And so, thankfully, with Amazon, the deal was different. But now I gotta keep that flag up. Like if I'm gonna talk about this person who's no longer with us, I have to do it in a respectful way, and I'm trying to be careful about the whole line. So that's why it's taking so much.
Right.
So when you release season 2, it'll be on Amazon?
Most likely, yes. I already have a pre-green, as they call it. Like I have a
and if you did it in the Amazon, you could say it's on Amazon about the Amazon. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, as I say, you got a question here from Dirge. He says he's been wanting to do a documentary. What advice would you give for narrowing down a wide subject? And what is the first thing you do when you start a project?
Well, let me answer the second question first.
Yeah.
If you spend 3 months developing an idea or working on a project before you go out and shoot, then you will most likely have a better product and will save a lot of money. When you like kind of just get, which happens a lot, that you get like emotional and excited about this idea and then just go out like Rambo and start filming, you're going to film on a lot of stuff that you won't need, or a lot of stuff, and then it's going to be harder to create an arch, because now you have a tree with branches of multiple subjects that it's really hard to click them together. Like for example, for non-documentaries, like even commercials and stuff like that, I try to enforce the storytelling part, even if it is with references on taken from Google or something like that. You don't have to be like an artist. If you go out and just shoot the stuff that you were comfortable with in your storyboard, you're going to save a lot of money. So that will be my first suggestion. Like spend a lot of time in pre-production, which is cheaper than when you are out there where guys on the clock working. It's game over if you don't do it right. And then what advice would you give for narrowing down a wide subject? That's a very hard question, but I will suggest, and that's something that I learned in school, you have to lay down the idea on what is the most, like let's say, for example, you want to make a documentary how conspiracy theorists believe that we never went to the moon. That's like a why subject. But if you pick 3 main points to grab into the story and just stay like a horse on a horse track like that, I don't want to know about everything else. Then that will help you trimming down and pre-edit where you're about to film.
I would even say, too, anything you're passionate about. If you're passionate about something, you're going to put all that extra effort into it and that love. And then with everything else that Guillermo's saying, add to that. Because if it's something that you're like, oh, I think this is kind of interesting, whatever, you're never going to complete it.
Like I'm working on this big spoiler, but I'm working on a documentary right now. You guys know who Banksy is? The street artist?
Yeah.
So we were filming, this was 5 years ago. We were filming a documentary on just street art. It was just about street art. And I was interviewing this person. That's as far as they're going to go. She's a, how do you call it? New York Times bestseller author for breaking. No, man, you're good. You're good. Thank you for questions. So she happens to have a job that allocates her every 60 days to a different part of the world, and so she's been everywhere. And where she goes, she captures street art, because there's a thing that street art will last as long as someone tag the wall or paint over the wall. So she has this nice project, and in that process, she met people from all over the world within that world. So she's telling me, and this goes back to the question, I was focused on just the street art part, but of course, if you're going to talk about street art, you got to mention Banksy. And so we were talking about it, and then she's like, oh yeah, by the way, when he was in New York, I was always thinking, like, what if he's around here and looking at the stuff and we don't know, it's just a guy on the coffee across the street just enjoying the show, because the New York invasion was crazy. And then she started like taking pictures of people watching, and there's this guy. There's this guy that he's like with a phone camera, and like drinking a coffee, I believe, like watching the whole thing with a very wicked smile, right? And so she took a picture of him and made a post that night about that idea of he might be enjoying the show but very close, and since nobody knows how he looks like, he can get away with that. And she posted 3 pictures as reference and went to bed. When she woke up the following day, there was like thousands of emails on her inbox saying, you do know that you have him on camera, right? Because I collaborated with him on the So awesome. Guess what? My narrative that I have edited and focused and everything completely changed, because I'm like, no, now we're going to focus on revealing the famous face of this guy. Yeah. And all I can say is, like, I have someone respected within that world that is a New York Times best author, and she claims to have a picture of him.
Wow, you just answered my question. I was going to ask you what happens when you're doing a documentary and you get to a part and it totally changes. Because I was watching, not to go off Star Wars, but I was watching Bama Rush, and that whole thing happens where this rumor gets out that she's filming, and it's totally not what she's doing. But then it's like you have to kind of change your edit or what you're doing in the film to kind of have to pivot. So I was
in our case, we have to film more stuff that wasn't planned. But at the same time, like I was saying, that you have to like pin specific parts of whatever you want to say. And I made sure that everyone that sat on a chair in front of our cameras talked about it in some degree. As easy as what do you think about Banksy? Right. Just like that, raw. And then with responses, you build a structure. I was very lucky because I was able to interview Jason Newsted, the former bassist from
Metallica.
And I asked him about Banksy, and he gave me like a really nice response and all that. So I had enough beef to build out the story, but we have to reshoot some stuff in New York. So anyway, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Yeah. So pretty much have some main points and stick to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, and defend that like a warrior. But if it happens like it happened to me, like if we had some beef, like I might have a picture of him. What? I even remember because this was done in the street. I was like, what? Where's that picture? Cut the cameras. Let me see the picture first before we start. And another spoiler, but he looks a lot like the pictures that she claims to be. There's another part that I will save it for the feature. I'm not going to say it now. But he looks a lot like the singer from Massive Attack, which has been like an open rumor forever that he's supposed to be Banksy. There's a documentary that guy made of following Massive Attack and then tying that up of a Banksy appearance piece that same day or the following day in that city.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things, though. It's like, would you want to know the unmasking? Or just let it keep the mystery, because once you know who it is, it's like
Well, that's where it gets interesting, because there's something happened to her the following day. Nice, nothing wrong, and now she was a little bit on the fence. Like, should I say this? Should I show this? She actually removed the post because of that.
Right.
So she didn't want to be the one moving the curtain and showing the real.
Yeah, she wants to react that.
Yeah.
So, thankfully,
you want to keep the magic of myth.
Thankfully, she signed the release before she
and not print anything to put inside it. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think the energy drink is kicking in.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say, Eben, I don't know how you feel, Guillermo, and everything, and how long you want to stick around. But did you want to break to the Facebook post and see what people have done and come back to Guillermo, or just keep it going?
Oh, we'll keep it going with Guillermo, and then we can switch over to the Facebook stuff.
Awesome.
So Guillermo, this is a Star Wars chat. What's your favorite Star Wars movie, man?
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, my boy.
Good work.
Yeah. I'm in
I'm not gonna lie, I really like Return of the Jedi, and I was young enough to not care about the Ewoks. Like I was too young to worry about that. Yeah. But Empire, I don't know. There's something about Empire that's why most of the people like go for that movie. It's one of the perfect executions. Yeah, I can see it.
Hold on. I get you. Go ahead. Show. Yeah, Murder Bear.
Wicked right there.
Nice head.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Robin Broca.
Yes,
Robin?
I know who she is. Yeah.
She has like actual real things, like screen use Ewoks. Like, the baby, like
the baby face. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Props and prototypes. Yeah, her collection is nuts.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Well, she went at it and got it at the right time.
Yeah.
When she was picking things up for 50 cents or $1 a piece or whatever, because it was in that it was too old, even though it was brand new, to sell new, but there was nothing to pick it up, so it was like fading out. And she just, everything's so
she grabbed
shampoo bottles.
I interviewed her on one of our podcasts. It's on our YouTube channel. Her mom was a big influence because she was the one buying she was into Star Trek, but she switched over to Star Wars real quick and started buying stuff for her. And she told me that she got droid stuff on the clearance being like $1 each.
Yeah.
Hearted, and she was like, "Wow, $1, give me a whole set."
Right.
So, yeah.
Now a little figure like that's $30. Crazy.
What? $30. $30 what? A loose droid figure?
No. What I'm saying is like even the brand new figures, like some of the vintage stuff or the Black Series, $30, $40 a figure.
Yeah.
You know.
And that one
Target exclusive Boba was $22 at Target.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
It's crazy, because they know what the market is, who's buying it. Kids they're not buying it for the kids.
No.
Kids aren't buying toys.
No, there was an article not so long ago, I think it was NBC or something like that says that pretty much the toys are I'm sorry. There are sustained by adults.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't market it for them.
Well, I think there's a legality in there. They can't. Well, like Super 7 does it in a way that in the card it says adult collector item or something like that. Like it's flat out.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think the reason why adults like us, well, I don't quite class myself as an adult, but we collect and we love being in that mode is because we weren't adults then. We were kids. So when you bring some of that stuff back, it reminds you, hey, I'm a kid. I don't have responsibilities and I can be irresponsible, and that's why I buy this.
I also think that the big essence of nostalgia, because I've been in that journey of trying to justify why we do. It's the fact that you like magically goes back in time to where you were like 7 or 8 and you didn't know what mortgage mean.
No.
The light was magically on, and there was magically food on the fridge that came out of nowhere. I'm just going to eat it. So it happens, and I recorded a lot of this reactions in a similar way. When you go into these rooms, it's like a temple. It's like it takes you to a happy place when you felt happy in most of the cases.
Yep.
So that explains why we're still hooked. And our kids, like my kid, prefers an iPhone or an iPad 100 times than any of the figures. And I've been trying like, but here, check this one out.
Yeah, but what's so funny is that you were like fighting with your parents to get that Land Speeder or that Millennium Falcon that was $29 back then. Please, I need this. No. And now you got 5-year-old kids going, iPhone 15, please. You're like, oh yeah, here's $1,000 phone for you. Makes no sense.
I was talking to my parents this weekend about something, and it was like $35 at the. It was a video game. It was $35, and I was like, "Can I have this?" And we probably spent an hour in the store debating it. You know, and now
it's cheap for a video game.
I remember episode 1. I was living abroad at that time, and I remember seeing, like, I was so excited, as I'm pretty sure most of you were before the film came out. And I noticed, I saw that it was gonna take like 6 months in difference to be released over there. So, like, you know, it was gonna be January for say something. I think it was May. And then I don't know, in June it was going to be released over there. I'm like, I'm not going to wait freaking 5 months to watch this film. I've been waiting for this film for like 25 years. So I just hopped on the plane and came to the States. And I wasn't a citizen back then. And so I'm like a very bad liar. Like, you can tell that I'm lying because I just can see it on my face. I'm like, I'm just going to be honest. So when the immigration officer, he's like, well, business or pleasure? I'm like, well, pleasure. So what are you gonna be doing? Well, I came to see a film, and then I'm just gonna go back home in 2 days. And he's like, you don't have theaters over there? And I go like, yeah, but the thing is that the movie will be released like in 5 months, and I'm a very good fan. And he was like, he was about to send me back, and he was not buying it. Like, explain me more. Like this is, I'm pretty sure he's not used to get that type of things. And then I said,
because you're honest.
Yeah,
you're honest with him. That's probably why he was like, oh, okay.
Right. But then I said, well, there's also another factor that there are items that will be released today, and most likely just today because of like premiere release type of things. So I'm going to buy a few for me, and then I'm going to buy a few more to flip them and actually help with the expenses of coming. He's like, oh, so you're doing business as well. Welcome. He let me in. Wow. Pretty sure that guy came home. It's like, love, you have no idea what happened today. This crazy kid from another country.
No, his name was Paul Blart. He took the job way too serious.
So after you finally saw the movie, were you like, shit, I should have waited 6 months?
Well, yes and no. I wasn't that taken off by Jar Jar. I was like, all right, this, I don't know, it feels weird, it tastes weird. Like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like the first time that when they added a Jabba the Hutt and the deleted scene that the Han Solo steps on the I didn't have a problem with it, because for me it was like, whoa, for the first time I see this deleted scene. That was cool. I love the seeing Boba Fett in A New Hope was like, oh wow, like, you know, I was bothered by the way Jabba looked, of course, but that was interesting. So with Jar Jar, I was like, man, whatever, this is another Jawa. But then you have to admit, like, the Darth Maul, the whole shebang with the Darth Maul and fighting Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, like that was like worth my time. Like that, I love that final sequence and everything. There are a few stuff in there that now you can connect, especially if you watch like Rebels or Clone Wars and any of that. There are hints of that era that are in a very nice way. Even The Mandalorian, that like Filoni was able to add droids and that whole sequence for me, that was oh nice. Are they the best movies out there? I don't know. But then what happened is that JJ came with his invention, and now the prequel looks better than before.
Right,
yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Because the sequels are horrendous. It's almost like an insult.
Yeah, we say that a lot here. We appreciate the prequels a lot more now.
Right?
As a documentary,
but I will say this, the documentaries I've been watching lately, they've just been coming on in our YouTube thing about like episode 1 or 2 or even Rise of Skywalker or whatever, are a lot more interesting and entertaining over the movies. I enjoy the documentary parts that I'm seeing on those.
Right,
but the movies, I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever, you know.
But it's also painful. Like, I remember seeing Mark Hamill like basically breaking down because they were killing the character like that. Like, I don't know if you've seen that shot. There's like a sequence where he's like lying on the floor, looking at the floor after doing the scene. And that was, for me, that was heartbreaking to see look like accepting the fate of a character that he loved so much. There were a lot of things in the film that I don't get me started with that. But like, for example, Mark Hamill had a lot of it was challenging after Star Wars, and I got this from even people in LA, because every time I went to an audition after Star Wars,
oh yeah, he was
like,
typecast.
here's the Jedi kid outside. I'm like, what? Yeah, the Jedi from the space movie. Oh no, this is a romantic comedy. Tell them that no. So I even heard that he almost lost a house, like trying to the mortgage. And
well,
then
it's
he became this amazing voiceover actor.
Yeah.
And then when we finally get to see him in the sequels, he doesn't talk. It was almost like on purpose, like, you made this film, this franchise made me almost go broke and relying on my voice. Well, now you're not getting my voice. Fuck you.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, Harrison got lucky enough that he didn't, because he went on to Indiana Jones at least, and then he went on to, you know what I mean? He got really lucky. I mean, George made him a super freaking star.
And Steven, yeah.
But George Harrison, I heard this from a guy that works at Rolling Stone. Apparently, he made a deal. He cut a deal. He was the one that made the most money. To respond to Mike before we go, if he has a favorite documentary that I made, I'm working on one that I'm going to be very proud when I release it. But I can't talk too much about it because it's like deep shit. Yeah,
it's about the Amazon forest, and it would be on Amazon.
It's actually it's very close, Byron. It's very close. But if it's not one that I made, then I don't know. I'll have to think about it to respond to that question. There's so many good documentaries out there. Going back to Harrison, this guy told me that he was like talking to him off camera, and he basically, well, it's public that he made like I think like Mark and Carrie made like less than 10 million, while Harrison had a secure amount of almost 90 plus percentage of the box office. But he had one requirement: you better kill the character, because I don't want to deal with this ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So that's like treason.
For years, he was trying to kill that character of.
Yeah, he wanted to be killed off in Return of the Jedi, I think.
No, Empire.
He
wanted to be done by he didn't even want to do Empire. He was done with it.
We did a press junket, like, I don't know how many years ago. This was probably 20 years ago. And so it was him. It was him and I can't even remember the movie. And so I was there, like, with the rest of the press, like, waiting. And of course, as good fan as you can be, like, you're going to meet Harrison Ford. The only thing that you're thinking, like, is just Han Solo.
Right.
I don't care about the rest of, not even Indiana at that point. So I had a shirt with the Star Wars logo, because in my naive head, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to take a picture with him with my thing. And I'm not into pictures with celebrity, but this is Han Solo. So it was so weird, because the people working for him refers to him as the international superstar, Mr. Ford.
Wow.
When they say that the first time, I'm like, all right, that's cool. But then, so you guys are going to go next. And then, but the international superstar, Mr. Ford, wants to know what are the questions. And when she said like the third time, I'm like, what? Why are you calling him like that every time?
Yeah.
And then she saw my shirt, and she's like, I'm going to warn you right now. If you ask a question related to Star Wars, he's going to walk out. He's not going to answer. He's just going to step and walk out.
Wow.
Like, it was like pure hate.
Mm-hmm.
What a jerk.
Hate leads to the dark side.
Which is amazing, because that launched him. Otherwise, he would have done American Graffiti, and then who knows what. You know what I mean? If anything, that might have been it for him. But because he wound up in Star Wars as that character, and that movie hit us all the way it did, it launched him into everything else.
Well, at the same time, he kind of was right, because Carrie and Mark didn't, like, their careers didn't actually take off after that. They were stuck in those characters. And I don't know if you read Wishful Drinking.
No.
There's Han Solo. If you read Wishful Drinking from her, she actually like complains about that, and she said like, I felt and part of that, which I love, like, she's reflecting of going to the market or to the mall and seeing her face in every single weird thing, like lunch boxes and
yeah.
So she said like it got to a point. She says in the book that it got to a point that every time that she was looking at herself on the mirror, she felt like she needed to send $20 to George.
Yes.
Yeah.
She owed him money every single time. Yep. This is probably true. believe it or not.
Can you put that question up from Kyle Lee Collins?
Yeah, I got it. I was looking at that. I was just waiting. Guillermo, great to hear about your work and love of Star Wars. What is your opinion on the documentary films of Werner Herzog? Yeah,
he's a British guy, like if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Werner Herzog. He has an amazing documentary of Mary Magdalene. The thing is that he's like an offshoot, especially in. Let me make sure I'm referring
make sure you
to
got the right
one.
guy.
Right. Pretty sure he's him.
Great kid.
Oh no, German director. No, it's not. It's not the one that I was thinking. Yeah, I like him. I remember seeing 3 of his pieces. It's very artistic and not commercial, if you ask me. Like, he doesn't go for the typical. He's making wine. He's not making beer. Like, he's someone that give you a 6-pack. No, he takes his time and make sure that the temperature is great when he's like crafting the grapes. Like, very dedicated. It's like an artist.
Great analogy with all that. It's
seriously.
Yeah.
I use it a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna use it now.
With some of my clients, I go, I'm making wine, not beers.
I'm making gin and tonic. I mean, yeah. There you go. Met a couple of actors and actresses like this. Always wise to never ideal. Yeah. Someone too much. Yeah, you'll never get let down. So it's like they say, never meet your heroes. Because you find out they're a jerk. Yeah. What?
Is it like that in the music industry, Scott? Have you ever had a run-in?
Oh yeah. The one that really stands out, believe it or not, was Neil Schon from Journey.
Really?
Yeah. He was not a nice person, but I know people personally that I'm close to that have worked with him, and he's fine. It was just at a convention that was for music, NAM, National Association of Music Merchants. He was there. A friend of mine really wanted to get his autograph. He was very patient, stood away from him while he was talking to somebody else. And he just gave up, kept looking over at him, was like, because he was standing there with like a pen and paper. And he just walks over, rips the piece of paper out of my friend's hand, scribbles his name, and throws it back at him.
Oh.
And it was just like, wow, dude, we're not being jerks. We're being very respectful. And that was rude. Yeah.
And they have, in the music industry, they have short memory. I was on. What's
your favorite food?
Yeah, I was on tour with this. I'm not gonna say names because I don't know. You never know. I was on tour with this singer for like almost a year. We like every CD. There was like 52 CDs. And then I saw her in an award show the following year. And hey, how are you? And she's like, who are you again? I'm like, fuck that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ever since I'm like, huh?
Did she shave her head the year after?
No.
So you were best friends 1 year. A year later, she's like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
That's
playing that game.
Yeah. That's happened to me before. People I know. I'm like, what? So on the topic of toys, what is your favorite vintage Star Wars figure that you have in your collection?
Boba Fett, without
Boba
hesitation.
Fett. Nice.
I have one that belonged to me as a child.
I want my life to get.
Sorry, I'm trying to find
perfect shape, and the reason why is that I liked it so much that I never actually played with it. I always had it like on the side. I play with everyone else, but like until I got a second one, and the second one got all the beating.
Did you take any of your stuff outside and play with the other kids, or did you keep it inside and make sure it was clean?
Oh, yeah, I took figures everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
So, no, I kept all my stuff clean.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of them kids?
You shush.
Nobody came and played with you.
No. I'd take them over to a friend's house, but I wouldn't go outside and play in the dirt.
Pristine.
Yeah, that's my Boba Fett shelf.
Oh,
a part of it.
I think this is the part of the documentary you tell that story where you're like,
what I just said?
One of these as a kid.
There you go.
And you're like, I never played with it. Or one of these you didn't play with, and some of them you did. Because I think your G.I. Joe collection, you had a lot of them you didn't play with.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Star Wars for me was mostly like something to look at and, like I said, to recreate the scenes and stuff like that. That's Jeremy Bullock. If you go on, those are prototypes.
Wow.
If so, I wasn't like that with Joe's, and I actually play with Joe's like a lot. A lot of my childhood memories are playing with G.I. Joe's, and then the Star Wars guys with like trophies that you don't want to mess with. You don't want to, and for some reason, I think they were fragile, and so I just kept them. Like the bases, the color of the bases in that shot is due to the COO. Like the black bases are Taiwan, and then there's like a few. They're not identical. They're all different in some degree. Like
there's a little variation here or there. Yeah.
Right, what's like the belt.
What's your favorite toy line? Like, what was was it Joe's, Star Wars?
Like, how many kids do you have?
How many kids do I have? 2.
Which one is your favorite?
He'll tell you. He'll tell you. Yeah.
I can't tell you on TV.
Not on public, right?
I'm kidding. You're right. Good question. Or good answer.
Yeah, it's like picking up between your kids. I mean, this was the first. I always make that analogy. Star Wars was my first kid, but then Joe's came in right after.
Yeah, you got
and then the third was a muscular group of people, and then I even got to an Asian lady and got kids with her because I like at some degree some anime stuff. So
yeah, I saw some of his G.I. Joe collection at MegaCon. He has like some Grail pieces, like from all over the world.
Yeah, 16 pieces, 16 different countries. And kind of
16 different.
Wow. Dan wanted to know what's your favorite music. I figured that's a quick question.
You see,
Metallica.
Metallica.
Nice.
I'm old enough. I started out with the 12-inch Joes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same here. I had one with the fuzzy beard. It was almost like it was flocked. Yeah.
I had the big ass helicopter.
Yeah, the yellow one. I had that too.
Yeah, I had that today, man.
No, Johnny has a question. Yeah.
Those other prototypes.
Wow, dude.
Guillermo, given your background in Star Wars, what is your take on your compadre Del Toro and his use of practical effects in this climate of money TV making?
I think Guillermo del Toro is it's one of our, every generation has like a Da Vinci or Michelangelo. That guy's a freaking genius, and he's crazy. He's crazy. Like he has, by the way, he's a mega collector of things. Like his house is full of statues or weird stuff. He's into the weird things.
He likes a little.
Yes. And he was a spoiled kid in Mexico. Like their family had some. Like it was they had good money, so he got a lot of kids when he was growing up, and so he's like one of us, like attached to that nostalgia. But believe it or not, he uses those kids as points of inspiration with some of his films, and I don't mind the amount of effects that he used, because sometimes not all the time, there are required to tell the story. I mean, especially with things that don't exist. Like, how can you talk about devils or monsters without having some of that into the equation? I think I'm a very, very fan of his work.
Wow,
that was the first test shot of Padme. I got that one because I'm gonna be honest. The majority of my toys are not from the prequels, but I got that. I was able to grab that Padme first shot, and then I just like, well, let me just start trying to get more, and then I just got like a very Chinese variant. It turns out that the chips weren't English everywhere. The talk chip, the Comtext chips, I think is the name. It varies according to the country. So I had like Italians, I have Italians, French, and it's the same line, just in a different language. Spanish, of course, and I can remember which was the other one. So I ended up having.
So when they said collect them all, you took it literally.
Regrettably, because that's a deep hole. That's a deep hole.
I want to answer this question real quick. Dan asks, "Who's your favorite supermodel?" I'm going to answer this. I'm going to have to go with Brian's mom.
That's fucked up.
Inside joke.
Mom is a lightsaber.
So, Magic of Myth is what it stands for, Magic of Myth, which is that lightsaber.
Beautiful.
Brian made the mistake because he had printed out like a chassis for it, and he says, "Hey, I printed this out to put in my mom," and we lost it. We lost it. He didn't mean to say it. It was just one of those things. So
oops,
that's what I'm referring
I said it to a wrong crowd.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was in tears. I'm sorry.
You're like, what? I think we're all in tears. That's hilarious.
That Lando, Gus gave me that Lando when we were filming at his house, and so I kept it like it has a different meaning for me, obviously.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Having a great Friday, Marcel. Thank you.
Hey, Marcel.
Yeah, that was some good scenes in there with Gus Lopez. That guy has an amazing.
And that's the thing. That collection is so massive that we decided to split one room of the house, one different room of the house per episode. And so, like I said, I have 3 seasons of 4 episodes per season, and we have one different room in every episode. It's insane. It's insane. The guy built a full house in the backyard just for collectibles. Just for collectibles. And his wife, which is like super nice, she collects Stitch, like as in Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
And so now the whole house is like split in 2. Like there's a blue side with just the Stitch, and the other side is like the jewels that Gus has.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Funny to look at me like that.
I think this is the film.
Especially you're all kind of jumpy. You're like this.
Yeah, it's probably because of the juice of the stream.
Yeah, but it's just funny.
Yeah. That's my prototype.
I got to go back and watch all this stuff, the room tour and things. I have to see this.
It's in the description, so it's all in there.
Thank you.
I followed everything. I followed OG Geek, and then I'm following this channel. I'm like, oh my god, gotta go.
Yeah, you're going down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, big time.
If you like GI Joes, Guillermo just posted one for Mexico where this guy had like one of the best collections ever.
But did you see the end? Because the second guy had literally a bag of Lily Letty figures.
You had in the video there. You had the mail away. It was the cereal. No, it was the cereal Han in Stormtrooper, and I had that.
You know how many of those I ate? That came with the Fruit Loops. I made Fruit Loops.
You know how many of those I ate?
Oh my god!
In our case,
I was giving boxes of cereal away.
I can tell you what I was doing when I got that. Man.
In our case, it's like we weren't living in the States. Like for most of the foreign collectors, it was so frustrating to see, like on the Star Wars Galaxy magazine or like the toy magazines, to see like buy blah 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 and send the coupons, or we're gonna mail this thing to your house, but it only applies in the US. So for us, like getting those mailaways was like the ultimate hunting grail, even though they don't cost much. So I have them all, like I found like pristine pieces at some point and have them all graded because of that. Like I literally have every single mail away from Power of the Force 2 graded because of that. Because like for me, it was so frustrating. So I have to move to the States in order to get this thing, which eventually I did.
Well, the other thing too was, please allow 6 to 8 weeks for blah, 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 shipping and handling, this whole thing, anything you ordered, whether if it was for a band that you liked, Van Halen, Ozzy, something like that, or stuff like this, you had to wait 6 to 8 weeks. Now we've gotten conditioned to a point to where you order it, Amazon then notifies you, I'm in your house, I left it by the nightstand.
Yeah. Right.
Within the hour, it's totally different.
That doesn't apply to Star Wars products. That doesn't apply to Star Wars stuff, because now what they're doing is like they basically is basically a Kickstarter, if you will, because they put the announcement out, they open the pre-order, and then when they get 1 million orders in, that's what they start producing. That's what it takes almost a year to get the product. Yeah. They charge first. They charge first. And then they go for the piece.
Well, everything. I mean, they said back in the '60s when they were doing Barbies, it would take 18 months from start to finish, right, from concept to what they were going to do to by the time it was produced and came back. That was the 60s.
But that's including casting and and molding. In this case, there's no such thing, because what they're doing is that it's like the, how do you call it? The repack collection now. Basically the same thing, and they just repacked it.
Right, but even today when they're doing things like Hot Toys or whatever, it's still not far off in that time. It still takes at least a year.
Correct.
To get them figured out and all that. So that bottleneck, whatever it is, still hasn't changed.
Hey, Guillermo, so how many vintage figures do you have in your collection?
It's been very smart move. I'm not doing the inventory or anything like that, because then people are saying like, oh shit, I could just sell this thing and buy a car. So I prefer not to. Like, I haven't counted. I stopped counting probably in the early 2000s, and it was a gross number.
What? Wow. When did you start?
I started at 8 and never stopped.
I never stopped. So whatever you got, you just held on to. Yeah.
Girlfriends, college, none of that made me stop. By the way, that shot, it's not like I'm hoarding them. They're all different. They're different COOs or different color variants or whatever.
That's interesting you said it. No girlfriends. Nope, didn't stop because yeah, I mean, we do stupid things around girls, or did, but still just life. You move, you do that stuff disappears,
Well, in my case, I was very honest. Like, I was like, hey, look, I'm going to show you something. If you freak out, that means this is not going to work.
You probably terrified them just with saying that. They're like, "Oh my God, what is his problem?"
I prefer to go straight to the point, because otherwise you might lose like 6 months dating, and then she finds out that your house is like that, and she's like,
My wife and I
"Hi, Johnny, rules. What kind of rules? I don't get it. It's different figures or type of conditions. It depends, man. That's a hollow tubes, a center. It depends, man. I mean, there are figures that when you come across, like for example, Blue Snack here.
Andy.
When you come across those figures, you're like, I have to pull the plug. I mean, maybe it's not in the perfect condition. And what I'm pointing with my finger there are my first C-3PO and R2.
Nice.
Like, I even remember opening the cards and everything, and they're all beat up, and they're worth like $5. But that's one of the most prized possessions, because those guys, they're like Buzz and Woody. They're being with me all this time.
Hey, Guillermo, real quick. So it's that guy that's Facebook user, Andy Meyer. He's going to be our guest next week, but he actually works for Stan Winston's. He used to work for Stan Winston Virtual Effects, and he's good friends with Larry Hama. And believe it or not, he's going to tell the story next week. But G.I. Joe was named after him, and you probably know which one it is.
Oh wow!
Wow, but working with Stan is like hats off, man. Hats off. It's like the type of genius that I was describing before. A guy's God, man.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Yeah, so they named Footloose after him.
Oh, nice.
If you look at the back of the card, the real name is Andy Myers, code name Footloose.
Amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Gonna be next week. Well, I'm actually gonna see Larry Hama next week, because I'm going to Joe Fest.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I miss those things, man. I haven't done one of those in a while.
Yeah, especially after the club was shut down. I guess these guys came up with the idea right on time. So the one on the right is Lily Letty, the one in the center is Taiwan, and the other one is just plain Hong Kong.
They still look good, though. That's just freaking awesome, dude, the way you have them set up.
Yeah.
I'm just in awe looking at what you have here in your collection.
Thank you.
I mean, seriously, it's amazing to have one and have it set up a certain way, but to have all those different variants and the mass amount.
Oh, look at those! What Chewbacca is that?
He's from. There was a line there. He's not articulated. There was a line that was exclusive from the Star Tours store in the Disney parks.
Oh,
and so they molded from the vintage original, and I remember they were like loose in beans, It's a funny story because I shouldn't like this guy. So we came from Venezuela to vacationing, and so I like save a lot of money to buy Star Wars figures. And when I got there, that's the only thing that they had. So I just came back with that. The yellow C-3PO is actually from a company called Comic Spain, and he's from Spain.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And now they claim that the Star Wars store got the molds from them, because the almost goldish 3PO on the far right belongs to the Star Tours figures.
Oh yeah.
And there's I don't know if she didn't focus. There's like a Wicked. There's like 2 more characters in there.
I was gonna ask you, besides Boba, next favorite figure or next favorite character that you have in the vintage line?
That's interesting.
Because you have so many variants with certain
there
things.
You go. There, we can enjoy it. I mean, I guess the rest are like more or less in the same type of level. I really like the Return of the Jedi figures, because I think that regrettably it was the last time that they make them, but at the same time, due to the success of the Empire and the other one, they made more characters. I think more like complex characters, and now you can remove helmets and stuff like that. Like I love Stormtrooper Luke. I never understood why they didn't make a Stormtrooper Han. But now the fact that you could remove accessories like helmets and stuff, I think it made it very interesting. So Return of the Jedi figures, I'm on, man. Now, if I have to talk in general, like I'll say Empire Strikes Back. Like being able to recreate Hot, it's just like, wow, I was so happy when I did that. That's probably somewhere in there. I don't know if you want to scroll more the other way. I think the.
Do you collect the 12-inch line too for G.I. Joe?
12-inch? No.
Oh.
I think I wasn't old enough when those were like the thing to do.
Yeah, Brian and I are. And just to say it, Brian's older.
I must have like 60 or 70 around the top shelves of my room.
Yeah, I had some of the 12 inches because they were the cheap things at Pick and Save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had one. I had one. He had the dark hair and the dark beard.
I still got Yeah. I got the missile head, the bullet head dude. I forgot his name.
Bulletman.
Bulletman, yeah. Still got him. I got the guy that was I think he was a spy.
That's crazy.
Dude, I'm in awe.
I know, right?
I didn't know they were so expensive because, like a few months ago, a friend of mine that has a toy museum in Venice, Italy, is like, man, like this is like not a simple request, I know, but I want to do like a Star Wars section. And so the thing is that when he's going to show something, it's an amazing museum called Creatura de Goma in Venice. It needs to be the complete line. He doesn't want to show like 2 characters of a line. So he asked me to put together a line for him, like a complete weapons, everything line of vintage figures.
Oh, vintage.
And only vintage, because they only do vintage. And then he also wanted me to have to get the vintage 12-inch, and I was like, what? I was so impressed with the prices because I never care about that scale. And so we ended up making
Hey, Santi.
We ended up making that exhibition, like permanent exhibition in Venice, and it's a Star Wars section, and he even put a plate on it with my name on it.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I'm also amazed that they're all standing up.
Well, there's this clear basis, like from I never know how to say his name properly. Ian Sanderson. He makes these things that are nearly perfect. He's a collector also, so he's curated by the owner. Actually curates a product, and that's where they're all standing like that.
That's awesome. Because I know, like, my wife collects some of the Black Series and stuff, and
there's a stand for that scale.
She can't find anything at work, so she's been using these little They're almost like waist grabber kind of little metal. They're for like little dolls or whatever, but she uses those.
He has bases for the how do you call it, the Black Series, and maybe you just have to look at Elaine Acrylics display, something like that is the account.
Okay, yeah, I have to look it up. Thank you, Marcel. Spank that like button. But on.
You're a feisty little one.
Yeah.
You're still next on respect.
Awesome. Power of the Force. Nice. Dude. It's cool to see all these things in packages intact, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just amazing that like I said, you know, growing up, stuff got broken, got lost. We moved. You grew up, you know, you grew older. You hid this stuff. If a girl was coming over, I mean, I know of somebody that was talking about they were dating and brought the girl to the house, and she kind of saw what he had set up and was like, not interested. Oh. You know, was probably totally interested in him, but then saw that and was like, nah, that ain't gonna work.
Well, I was dating a girl once that I took the first time that I took her home. She was like, "So, if you sell this, how much do you think you will sell this for?" And I'm like, "It's not gonna work, girl." I don't like where that question is going. Yeah, that's game about.
Yeah, I took like my wife, knowing I've always been a collector, because I used to have like a lot of the GI Joes, you know, that I was collecting. I still got them, and I used to have them played, and she's like, "Oh, you collect." But then,
you collect.
How like my mom gave away a lot of my toys when I went to the military. So through the years, she started buying me all the vintage Star Wars, you know, just finding them. Even the big, you know, Kenner, General Mills figures. So she's been my enabler. But she can't tell me nothing now because she created this
your
monster.
fault,
right?
It's your fault.
No, that's you married the right person, is what that is. Yeah.
I think that matters. We actually in the documentary we cover a little bit of how that works, like that interaction. That's a Dutch clipper. How that interaction has to work. Like if both of you are not in the same page, that right. this is not going to work.
Oh yeah, you don't like my choice? I don't like your hair.
Well, it's like what he says. I remember at a point in my life, I tried not to bring up any of my collection. It was a dark time for collecting back then.
I was buying Power of the Force 2 back in the 90s. You know, I was hiding it from my wife, and then the collection grew so much that I couldn't hide it anymore. But she knew that I was into it, and I had to remind her the other day. It's like I showed her the one I got in like 77, or it would have been 78. I showed her, I said, "See this figure? This is how long I've been in the Star Wars."
Yeah.
That's the way to go, man.
Yeah, I was like,
well, it's
this
like
is ingrained. This is who I am.
You know, back to yeah, right. Yeah, purses and shoes and things. Yeah, but it's like back to the documentary stuff. This movie has hit people more than anything else. Yeah. And like you were saying, Guillermo, you interview people like, you know, what was it that did it? What was the magic? Because yeah, you could go back and you can tear some of them apart. You can find all the holes and you can say, look, like that, you know, but it doesn't matter to us. It hit us at that age, and it is like it became a part of our being. You know?
Yeah. You can also say to her like, "Hey, look, I'm here talking with my geek friends in the house. I'm not like out there in a bar having drinks with friends and stuff. What do you prefer? What do you want me to do?"
Yeah.
They're all gonna say, "Just keep buying your stuff.
keep playing with your dolls."
Right. Keep playing with your dolls. Right.
There was a reel I saw with a guy having that same argument. He was like, "Yeah."
Well, I had friends come over with their wives, and they're like, the moment that I thought they were just organically just wanted to take a look at the thing, the collection. When they come in, the first thing that they say is like, "See, I'm not crazy. Look at this guy."
Right.
Right. I'm not crazy. What I'm doing that is contained. Look at this guy. So
well, my wife was doing that. She was collecting purses. I mean, they were knockoff and stuff, but she was enjoying it and loved them, displayed them like a little boutique. And then that changed, and she went full born Star Wars. So everything in our house now is Star Wars.
Yeah.
thanks to her, to me, it's even the cats. You know, one of the cats will start acting out. We have to put on a Star Wars movie, and he'll calm down.
Your fans, your shirts, your pens, your cups.
Yep. This is one she's made. She put together.
She's going to town with that cricket.
You know that now that you say that, especially with kids, there's like this interesting. What it happened with my son. I decided the first time that he saw the movies with me, I decided to play them in order, meaning episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna count the rest. Something interesting happened because when Anakin turns into Vader, he was devastated.
Yeah.
And then we saw A New Hope, and throughout the whole movie, he was saying like, "Anakin, don't do this. You're a good guy." So I didn't experience it like that because I remember Vader as the bad guy from the beginning.
Yep.
He was an evil guy, but now it was a different perspective. I remember him suffering and say, "Anakin, don't do this," like vouching for Anakin to come back. And so, I mean, that's interesting. It's all a matter of perspective. I cannot stop to look at that land speeder, man.
I know, right?
It's a different generation.
Yeah. Have you tried the? Have you tried that these are not the droids you're looking for and wave your hand to see if it works?
Only when I can.
I was going to say, we went to watch the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary, and there's people in the theater that were waiting for that to be in the theater so they can watch it. And when Luke and Leia found out that they were related, they're like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, right.
It's such a weird scene. If you think about it, that whole relationship with them is kind of weird because like she was hitting on him the whole even kissing him and everything. And then when she's like saying that, I think that that's how I perceive it. Like Luke is looking at her like, "Oh boy, she's gonna spill it out. She's gonna tell us she's into me," something like that. And she's like, "No, we're brothers." Even Han, when he comes out, he's like, "Oh, so what's going on here?" Are you two like?
You could tell him. You can't tell me.
Yeah, you too.
Whiny stuff. I'll just go my own way when he comes back.
You guys,
no, it's not like that. He's my brother.
Yeah. Cool. So I think we're at what, 1 hour and 21 minutes. So Guillermo, if you want to stick around, we're going to do the pickups from the Facebook group. So we have a thread there.
Sure.
People show that they picked up collectibles.
I'm not gonna leave like Han. Like I understand. I'm gonna. Don't worry. What?
So let me share my screen real quick. Get ready. All right, here we are. So this is so from the Spice Runners Facebook group. We got a couple of pickups.
Coolest threads. Yeah. Thank you guys.
So Dill, he bought a thermal detonator. We've been talking about this a lot. You know, I think we've been enabling people to go get these.
Oh, we have. George said straight out, now I want to get one, and he did. So it all worked out. And I mean, I told you back when you got it, I said I've always wanted one. You're like, I just ordered it. I'm like, son of a bitch. But yeah, I mean,
just play the audio, right? Like, she's holding a thermal detonator.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Asks why.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, he's looking for it. And then our buddy Rick, he got the half-scale Legends.
Awesome.
Yep, I love that piece. I do. I think it's awesome. Very cool. I love the freaking Graflex stuff you got sitting there.
Yeah, Ricky's story Giant.
One of the guys was asking me if I have a style, and yeah, I do. There's one main thing. It needs to be articulated, so that's hence why I'm not into like statues or that type of stuff.
What about Hot Toys?
They're too big, man. Like imagine what you just saw. Imagine that with Hot Toys. Like you can fit what? I don't know, like 3 per shelf or per every division of the shelf. Whereas you can put 200.
Yeah,
I got lots of shelves.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go with the 3. I'm just gonna say a lot easier to handle than 20.
Any cool. Some of these.
That's
cool. Yeah. Sweet. We're going to talk about these next week. We might be doing a run.
Bad news.
Evan, I'm not going to be on next week's show. You might have to order one for me.
We'll have time. Okay. We'll talk about it.
Hold my beer.
Tyler does custom clones on Hot Toys Sideshow, so
Yeah,
the 12-inch size.
They're amazing. I'm also not gonna lie. I'm being like very self-restraining myself to not take a step into that dark world, because then I don't have room, man.
Where is
I don't have room.
It's a very dark
I
world.
drank the Kool-Aid a couple of years ago.
This is a dangerous time for you.
There it is.
When you will be tempted by the dark side of the Force.
That's it.
Randy picked this up at ICCC custom, huh? That's cool.
That's nice.
This will rub people in the wrong way. And I not hate, but I do not like Obi-Wan.
No?
Do not like Obi-Wan, like Alec Guinness Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Blasphemous.
In general, if you think about it, the whole manipulating angle of Alec Guinness was horrendous. Like, oh, this belonged to your father, and he wanted you to have it. And like, bullshit. No, you kill him and took it. He was the best pilot. Yeah, it was the best pilot, and he was killed by Darth Vader. Like, bro, you're manipulating the kid into going against his own father. Like, they even had that fight with Yoda, and he's like, he's our only hope. You better let him kill the old guy. Like, that was horrible. Among many other things, I can build a case against Obi-Wan like for hours.
There's your next documentary.
No, I can't.
So this Michael Black picked this up. That's pretty cool.
That's
pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, I remember when that went on sale. I wish I grabbed it.
Yeah.
And Joel got this.
Obi-Wan is the best.
Oh, where's that from?
Brian, that's beautiful, dude.
Thank you very much.
Killer job.
I love that thing.
Thank you very much.
Thing's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brian makes these custom bases too.
Yeah.
That looks
amazing,
incredible.
Dude.
The top has little lights on it.
Oh yeah, mine's lit up right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I told you that the Obi-Wan thing will be controversial. Yeah,
they're just playing.
And then I know. And then he like tricks Anakin and Padme even. He sneaks into her ship, and then in Mustafar he comes out like, got you. No wonder the kid was like, oh, you two were together. Like, you lied to me. And she's like, no, I didn't. This motherfucker just is not getting like. There's so many things I can say about him.
This is why only 4, 5, and 6 exist for me. Because it doesn't break any of this stuff that you're bringing up, right?
The continuity's jacked up in the prequels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's Obi-Wan, he was like, "Come on, Padme, you want to be with me? Come on."
Yeah. No, he had an affair, and he was like demonishing these people, like saying, "Oh, you this is something that we don't do," And then Anakin gets accepted into the council, and then, but you cannot be a master. What the fuck, man? Why are you doing this to me? And then we want you to spy on your friend. We want you to spy on your friend. He was not his friend. Like, it made it look like you being manipulating this whole family for so many years. So.
Oh yeah. Well, Joe, tell us about this.
Just let your feelings go. Just let it happen.
This one is from the video game that never was produced, Eclipse.
Okay.
They showed it for like 5 seconds. Not even that.
Wow.
It looks amazing.
This is life size or 6?
Yeah, well, it's child size. I don't know why life size are coming out a bit small, but I'm gonna dial that in.
Okay.
It's good. It's a little under life size.
I love the paint job.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I didn't have patience on this one. Oh, look at that.
I feel like George Lucas doesn't remember his own movies when writing the prequels.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit.
I told this to Kyle.
Jabba.
Wow. Which one is that?
You saw the time with the repaint?
No, that's the second version.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Hasbro, the Black Series
Sideshow.
one? Sideshow?
Yeah. So he's got the first version base and the second version Jabba. I kind of...
Oh, you mixed it up.
Yeah. I didn't want those two pieces.
Okay.
So.
I was like, why does that look different in mine? Well, that makes sense. All right, cool. And Jose picked up Armorer.
Wow. Oh, he's making the move, right? Because he went from Black Series, now he's getting into same Jose, right? I can't read the name.
This is a different Jose. It's not a.
Oh, okay.
Kenobi.
Gotcha.
One of my favorite pieces.
I still haven't unboxed mine. And then Rex, who goes by Millennium Workshop here. This is the one I was talking about.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That looks sick.
He's just making some amazing stuff. He's just killing it.
Wow.
That's cool.
Damn.
Can I keep bashing Obi-Wan in between?
Tear it up.
My favorite is the Obi-Wan Ghost.
In Empire?
Like, why do you lie to me? Return. Like, why do you lie to me? Your father was seduced by the dark side. And that
from a certain point of
view. Yeah.
They ate a lot of cereal for that one too.
Yep. Oh man, I had that one.
Sebastian Shaw vintage figure. That was a lot of cereal too, I think.
Yep.
What's this? NYC, right? This one?
And now you're all crackheads.
Oops. Oh, okay. That picture came out good, dude.
Dude.
Yeah. J2SO, what's up, dude?
Don Post.
That thing is really neat. I wish I could have never passed that.
Yeah, my friend had it, so I was like, "Yo, give me that." He's like, "Yeah, dude, send me some money. I'll just ship it to you from Pittsburgh." I was like, "Sweet."
Is it a dome post?
Yeah, it's a dome post.
Wow, I didn't know this thing existed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's old. It's an old piece.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it is now.
Yeah, it's like
seems like
05,
yesterday, but
04.
Yeah, it's not as old as Brian, but it's old.
No.
When they first sold them, it was only like it wasn't that much. $50,
$30, dude.
$30. Yeah, it wasn't that much.
Target.
$30 was it? What it retailed for?
Yeah, I saw it on the shelf.
$30 and then $19.99 was like decent money.
It was $50 worth.
Oh, there you go.
Now $30. I mean, find something for $30. You know how it is. It's like 20 is the new 50.
Dude,
50 is the new 200.
$40 a piece at Target now.
Yeah.
I bought the TIE Pilot and this one. I looked at them and I went with the TIE Pilot.
Nice.
Then
Very cool, J2SO.
GC props armor helmet.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
GC does a good job. They did a lot of this stuff for Mandalorian. Oh, look at Joel. What did you make now?
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude. That is amazing, man.
That got shipped out to
who?
Is it coming to my house?
No, it's going to a gentleman named Michael Leffler.
Oh, Michael.
Dude, that's so damn cool.
This is custom?
Yeah, I made that. Yeah.
That's
you
awesome,
made
dude.
that?
Yeah.
Dude.
Right?
Mother
That's
effort,
tough,
bro.
man.
That's so cool.
Wow. So I'm assuming you're like Rogue One, right?
Oh yeah, I
love that movie.
Look at that.
Wow.
Joel,
you're amazing.
Thanks.
Amazing stuff.
What's that?
Did you use firecrackers for his backpack?
No, they're British anti-tank airborne.
Oh,
pieces.
okay. Cool.
Wow.
So there's little rockets that go in those tubes, and I take those rockets and I put them on the back of Moroff because he's got the artillery backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Moroff is the white dude in Rogue One, the big white bear thing that runs.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, if I may, so when you make these, you make only one?
I think that's the first one I've made of that figure.
101 so far, right?
No, that's one of 4 that I've got one and I've sold 3 now.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's the point that I was trying to get. That to going through this is obviously art, but like to going through that process just to make one is like.
He'll do it. Because Joel will get an idea, it will spark like, oh, I got to do this, or I want to recreate that, and he'll just work until it's done. And sometimes he'll do it through the night, and he's done. He's completed it.
If I know I can do it, I'll do it. If anybody requests it, if I got time.
Wow,
it's just amazing the drive that he gets going, and he doesn't sleep. He just doesn't sleep.
Man,
good job, dude.
Joel would be a good person to do a documentary on.
Yes.
Any facets there.
Yeah,
and the whole high command thing. Oh yeah.
I mean,
We gotta get this figure.
without saying that, the land speeder sold me on that idea. So it's a perfect excuse to go and see that in person.
Yeah, J2SO is a great figure.
Yeah, I want to display with the DX07 Bespin Luke. You know, I mean, yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, because you got the killer one. It's like the ones. I think the collector's edition is on wait list, but the deluxe is available, and I think people are getting that Bespin one now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, let's talk, Jason. I got a bunch of these.
Been thinking about getting.
Okay, yeah, I need them.
So this one's so it's Ryan's anniversary tomorrow. He's out in the UK, I think.
Oh wow!
So he dropped in to say hi earlier. So
happy anniversary!
That's cool.
Happy anniversary!
Yeah, happy anniversary! 100%.
Congrats on that. And I guess he's getting something else his wife bought him, so that's awesome.
That's cool. That's cool when your spouse supports you.
My anniversary.
Barry's setting up his new house. You know.
Nice.
He put some stuff up.
Oh, look at that Dio up there. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah,
I love those doors, man. That's cool, man.
Now I want to show some stuff. You mind if I go to the other room and grab something and come back?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, go for
it.
Go for it. And then Matt got this sideshow
Vader.
That's sweet.
That was the first 6-scale figure I bought back in like 2012 when this came out or whatever. Dang. I bought this and it's so cool.
I may see this controversy. I think that figure is just figure out of Raiders. And a lot of people don't agree with that. This figure is better than all of them.
Dude, this figure, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like that it had that giant base. They're like, what the hell do I do with this? I'm like, this. Display it like this.
I don't think I have mine on display. It's still in the box.
Well, it's like I dig the Imperial cog in the background.
Yeah, and it came with that second helmet too, dude. Like, it was I think $250 when it came out, $240.
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
Pick them up really cheap now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's 11 years ago too.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, I sold that bitch. I went
and Matt, owns
sold that bitch.
If you guys don't know, Matt, he owns that Empire Essentials shop. So they do the helmets.
Oh, okay.
So he's working on his Kenobi Vader suit. Check that out.
Damn,
that's dope.
Dude, don't look at mine anymore. Everyone, don't look at my crappy Vader compared to that guy.
Wow,
looks fantastic.
Looks amazing,
Matt.
Like, this is how it started, and this is how it ended.
Yeah.
Wow, what a difference, right?
How I feel is on the right, and then like when people meet me, I'm on the left there.
Yeah.
I think it's with that suit. So let's see. Cool. I think that was it for this week. Oh no, Joe posted something. Yeah. So Joe, he went to ICCC, and this is what he brought back.
Damn, dude.
Came back with a Razor Crest.
I might have gone if my son hadn't graduated. That was like,
wow.
I think he got this from
younger kids.
Do I have younger kids?
Yeah.
Well, my oldest just graduated from college, and I have 2 college freshmen.
Congratulations, man!
So you got graduations coming up in like 3 to 4 more years. You could have went to ICC.
Well, I can't miss the first one.
Hey, Eben, I think more.
What's up, dude?
There should be more in there. I posted one during the show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Let me refresh then. Maybe it didn't. Oh, okay, I see them now.
Yeah, that Razor Crest is a cool.
Yeah, Matt, more than welcome, dude. That's awesome.
It's easier to show it on there.
Oh, let's wait for Guillermo to come back before I put these on air. Yeah, these. Oh man, I forgot about these. We were just talking about that before the show.
Yeah, I actually painted it during the show.
Did you?
Really? You don't say.
Joel.
Sorry, Guillermo. No, you're good. I was waiting for you so we can show you this. So Joe was doing this during the show.
Oh, dude.
Oh, wow, man.
That's insane.
That thing was unpainted before the show.
It's not quite done yet. I got to put the mic on and
Jesus
I got to do some drilling.
Wow, man. That's insane.
Man. Dude, I love that, dude.
Look at that in the aging. In the aging, it's perfect.
And that was
but it's like Here, real quick. This is what he's doing right now. He's working. You think he's sitting there on the show? He's not. He's working.
Yeah.
Wow.
See? There it is.
Cool.
That's why he's hiding behind the land speeder.
Yep.
Right.
I was just too. They take the lens up today.
That's incredible. Incredible, man. That's incredible.
Did you
What's
sculpt
that?
this? Did you sculpt
No, I
the
printed
head?
it.
Oh, you printed it? That looks good, dude.
I wrapped the top of his head with leather.
Oh, that's what you're talking about before the show. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have like a closet or something filled with like weird pieces of leather and cables and.
Dude, I have bins and bins.
Telephone
I probably
cable.
have like 20 bins full of Hot Toys 3-0, just one scale figures.
Joel is the Adam Savage of 6 scale.
Mm-hmm.
And 1-to-1.
Maybe.
So,
yeah. It's pretty cool.
See, Joel loves himself. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Command. How you doing?
Oh, they're watching.
Graffiti guy inspired by Banksy. Check this out.
Oh wow! Look.
Wow.
PK somewhere.
That's cool.
That's freaking awesome. I'd love that on the side of my house.
That's
It
dope,
doesn't
dude.
matter. I rent.
Man,
Incredible.
do that with spray paint. That's crazy. To get details like that. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Ron. He's like, P.S. I hate being that you guy.
That's wow. I'm sorry.
And then last Rex, he did a Revan helmet. Nice.
Sweet.
Looks good, dude.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
fits
looks really
style. That's
good.
pretty cool.
All right.
Are you
He's
just
killing
3D printing this stuff? Are you casting it? What are you doing, Rex, with these helmets? 'Cause
I
they
would
look
say
fantastic.
3D print.
That's
I follow
awesome.
him on TikTok
Guillermo.
where he shows a lot of that stuff.
Guillermo, what'd you go grab?
Yeah, what you go grab, dude?
It's a Gentle Giant 12-inch prototype.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, the snowy. Damn.
So it was taking my time because it's not Sonic wielded. So
Oh.
So how does one get their hands on something like that?
Rick, did you make that?
publicly? Because I'm going to be in hot water if I say that publicly. But someone was involved with the process and like really a nice trade. But so yeah, I do have
one of our buddies in the chat is from Gentle Giant. He's a
Oh, shit.
he's a contractor. He's probably the one who made it.
I know these things are not so
Awesome.
nice. Nah, no. What it shows not.
No. So Rick, he's on here as Left Coast Graphics. He makes all those 12-inch figures for Gentle Giant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know where I've been, under a rock, I guess.
You're too busy, dude. You're too busy.
Maybe.
Yeah, Rick's a good dude. Yeah, we even had Joe here too on the show. He did a lot of sculptures for Gentle Giant. That's Rick. Yeah. He's like, I wish I got a prototype.
Are supposed to be destroyed after the approval process is done.
Yeah.
And now it's happening now more that we're getting, especially when we get stuff from overseas, that they're like broken on purpose. But you know us, we put it together and figured out how to grade it and something like that. Now we're grading with that know that okay, it's broken, but it's still a prototype.
Yeah.
Still prototype. Because you can always display it in pieces too, though. Like you can get it mounted in pieces.
And I guess I shouldn't say this, but like I got like 15 different characters like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're so lucky,
dude.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna get them all graded because that's the best way. I mean, grabbing it with my hands is the worst thing that you can do to those things. So, you have oil in your hands and that type of stuff. So.
You don't know where your hands have been.
In your hand.
He's scared sending in those prototypes.
Or where this thing has been, and now I'm putting my hands on it.
Oh, let's blow this guy up real quick. Let's see this one right here so we can see him better. Oops, let's swap me out. There we go.
There you go.
All right,
Surprise.
I'm a big
Surprise!
Put me on the spot.
Oh, I thought you were unboxing something else.
No, you got me. Like I didn't bring another one. I just picked up the
Okay.
first one that was on the box. So I have like a. Yes, I do.
Nice.
Yes, I do. I have a hammerhead. I was very lucky. It was a lot of like 20 different figures.
Joel made
That's
me
awesome.
a hammerhead. Just saying.
I did. So he was a piano. So I Max Rebo's piano, and I made a hammerhead figure and gave him a goatee and put him in a white Don Yang suit. and
Nice,
everything.
nice, and why hammerhead?
Yeah.
I just was picking characters, and I had the mold sitting in a box, and I was like, that would be awesome in a piano.
So Joe, for Christmas, Joel made figures for everybody on Spice Runners Lounge.
That's
of
amazing.
them.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
lucky boyfriend. Yeah.
Eben, I made. He's the first character ever like that. He's the wolf, the Yalarian, or however you say their names.
Yeah, the Wolfman guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Blow myself. There it is.
That's awesome.
That looks incredible.
Yes.
It does look
Detailed and everything.
Well, it's like
Leather.
looking at that, Joel could totally do American Werewolf in London.
For sure.
It's dope, dude. I love this piece.
It's dope.
Yeah, they were,
Yeah. I thought you could have for Scott. You could have done the Max Rebo.
Well, yeah, but I chose the hammerhead, and then I made his wife. What are those things called?
Here's his Max Rebo right here.
Oh yeah, I did Max Rebo. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Joel's Max
heavy,
Rebo. Yeah.
That looks amazing.
It's like 20 pounds, dude.
What's the scale on that guy?
6 scale. Let's see if I can find.
I do what you need. Though.
Yeah, that piece is amazing. It's weird that we're not getting this type of stuff from Hasbro.
Nope.
That's what I try to do.
It's
I
too
try
bad.
things that I don't think people will do.
You probably won't like this one, but I do.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Dude, she's so. I love her.
I
That
don't
size
like her
figure is
because
my favorite.
I wouldn't like her because of what? That she's like the newest 3D thing, 3D animated thing.
Stuff that they added on, yeah.
No. I liked more Lapti Neck than the newest version of that sequence, whatever the song is called.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
Lapti Neck, that was like a disco piece.
Mm-hmm.
I actually remember in my college days because I had a CD, a soundtrack of Return of the Jedi in my car.
So we were talking about Han Solo.
So I pick up this girl and she's like, "What's that?"
Is that
And
Hot
I'm like,
Toys?
"Get out of the car!" It's not gonna work.
Get out.
I've had this for years.
Dude, that
Yeah,
guy's
that's a Hot
great.
Toys one.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, that thing's
Oh, the
hard
phone.
as hell to find.
Wow, dude.
I
Yeah,
have
I'm
mine
taking a
in that.
I'm lazy like that. So when I buy, it's ready for resale.
Yeah, well, I like your resales.
All right, no more show and tell. I just dropped. Oh.
You have some jewels in the back, man.
What? Oh, Joe?
You have a lot of jewels, yeah. Like,
Oh,
look
back
at the
there?
background. Yeah, it was just like when you were picking something, I was looking at the background. Yeah, that Boba Fett bust is like.
Gotta fix my lights. Let me see. Let's put this one on.
No worries, no worries.
Got Greedo
Oh,
hiding
there
back
you
there.
go. There you go. Wow.
Got Guido hiding. Let's see.
Man,
Got
that
some more
Raincor's a
Wow, look
I
at
need that
that,
thing.
man. That's beautiful.
Dude,
Carbonite
Evan,
back there.
I'm honored you haven't flipped my shit yet.
I'm keeping that shit. That shit's going to the grave with me. You got more stuff over there. You got more stuff over there. You can't see. I got the projector down because we're watching movies. Then Jawa over there somewhere.
Wow, yeah. Oh, look at the Jawa.
Yeah,
I
life
need to make
size.
one of those.
Yeah, me too. Cool.
Incredible collection, man. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Has Mike seen this? Because this is all
He's been saying
Mike
for a few years he was going to come by.
That's what he's into, pretty much.
Yeah, he told me he was going to come by and film it, but I haven't seen him yet. Like last time I saw him at MegaCon, I was like, "Hey, when are you coming over?"
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna actually do a couple of those.
I'll take a werewolf. That's an amazing piece.
You get a werewolf. You get a werewolf. Everybody gets a werewolf.
Yeah, I've bought some stuff for Mike too in the shows.
I had, but I sold it. It was too the offer was too good. I had I think it was Pepsi. Had the life size Watto that was in stores and.
Oh, cool!
Oh, nice.
So
I wouldn't blame anyone that walks into a house and see that thing hanging. Like, okay, you have issues.
I have the life-size Blockbuster Yoda that they did the puppet version back in the day.
Yeah.
But now they've digitally remastered it, so that puppet face doesn't match anything now.
Dude, that puppet's terrifying. Phantom Menace, dude, that thing was so jacked and creepy.
That's pretty cool, actually. I was a little miffed they digitized it.
Mm-hmm.
In the first, I think it's in the first sequence with Gus in our documentary, Gus Lopez's house. He shows, it was like a rehearsal. It was made for rehearsals. A puppet of Yoda that looked used like Mark used it with what's this guy, Miss Piggy guy from the Muppets? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Miss Piggy.
Yeah, amazing director as well. He has the actual training puppet that they were using behind the scenes.
Oh, awesome!
Oh yeah. I've seen that. It looks nothing. I mean, it looks like Yoda, but it looks totally different. It's a unique piece. Yeah, his collection and what he has. Wow, he's even got the original Death Star.
Yeah, and that story, actually, we'll tell that story in the future episodes, but it's not like something that nobody knows. Like it's out there, it's on their website and everything.
Yeah.
But it was used as a trash can at some point in an old
pawn store,
an antique store, and then they were gonna throw it away.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not the original one. That's for the Jedi one, though. Isn't it?
No, it's the original one.
I thought it was
the New Hope.
Return
It's
of
the
the
New
Jedi.
Hope.
Okay.
No.
So I guess it didn't blow that one up at the end.
Yeah, because the thing is, only part of it was painted. The rest was clear because they shined a light through the back of it. So the whole thing wasn't done, whereas the one on the Return of the Jedi, they actually built. They built all of it up a different way.
But I think the one Gus has is painted all over, if I recall correctly. And then there's like a hole at the bottom where you put lights, and then when you turn the lights, it was like pinholes. And so you turn the light inside, and then pops up.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That thing looks amazing. Yeah, it's one of our buddies, Sean Stewart Stone. Yeah. He's calling himself Scruffy Looking Efforter now.
Nice.
Oh, I'm messaging him right now.
So before we kill the show, I wanted to go over your Instagram real quick. Plastic Crack Film.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think I put this in the description too. So you give them a follow and check it out.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. I'm doing that right now.
Yep, same.
Was this at MegaCon? Where was this booth at? MegaCon?
Yeah. MegaCon, yeah. It's the most recent show that we've done.
Wow.
Yeah, so guys, if you would have seen this collection in person, you would have just been there all day.
I remember seeing it.
Were you able to sell any of these, or because I know some of them are up for sale, right?
No, yeah, some. This was at the very beginning, actually. For some of those guys were gone. The top right is old prototypes, graded prototypes. Let me see. Yeah, I can see stuff that I no longer have. And then like left up, it's India and Russia. And then below that, it's more India. And then below that, it's like newer. There's 2 proof cards and newer club exclusive. The whole bottom is pretty much Brazil. And then in the next line, there's Egypt, Argentina, France, which I brought that guy in my hands literally on the trip. Spain. Yeah, because like there are certain countries like for example, Brazil at some degree, but in a specific case of France, they don't have closets, they don't have storage rooms, they don't have the capacity of keeping stuff, because like the Brazilians, I'm sorry, like they say, like, why are you gonna have something stored for years? Like, if you don't need it, why don't you sell that shit or throw it away? So to find carded figures in those countries is like a real challenge. Or Venezuela, for example, is a real challenge, because I think kids were normal because they ripped the card and took the figure, like every kid should. I don't know why we have
That's
this.
what I did.
Right. I don't know why we have this weird thing of like, let's just keep it in the box.
Like the way you said it. Yeah.
So, like literally, the Brazilians never understood that. When I was trying to explain, they never understood the concept of paying for storage. Are you paying to keep an old couch? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's why you guys are into economical issues. And then, like the Japanese, for example, they do not have closets. Like, an apartment is probably the size of your Star Wars room right there. So finding those things like seal and everything, it's a stroke of luck. I call them the ultimate survivors of a cultural difference. And there are things from, I can see like 10 different countries in those shelves, pretty much.
So they're not all Hasbro though, right? Would they still be Guyper Man, Action Man?
Well,
Palatoy?
we can spend 3 hours talking about that specific question, because here's the thing. Hasbro hit it out of the park in 1982 with the reincarnation of Jaws in a 3 3/4 scale. They were obviously trying to compete with Star Wars. Star Wars was on the downhill, or getting close to Return of the Jedi, and you know that after Return of the Jedi, the line pretty much died.
Yeah.
So when that happened, the Jaws just rocketeer.
Yeah, they blew
up. They started selling the rights to produce in the figures abroad, and so some of the that's something else. That's more like motor related. So some did it in China, some started doing it themselves, and then there was no emails in that time, or like there was pretty much a non-existent quality control from Hasbro. So some even took the liberty of changing names or changing the art or calling things differently. Like, for example, the Brazilians thought that Snake Eyes was a bad guy because it's a snake, and according to the pamphlet, the bad guys are called cobras. So they just turned a snake eye into a bad guy, and even put a cobra emblem on his, and they call it Invaser. So there's all these weird things from abroad that makes it so interesting. In countries like Argentina and India specifically, they were like, we're running out of green. Well, just put fucking blue in there. So now you have a character that's supposed to have like green parts and is all blue, and that makes it an amazing, interesting variant to have. This is a recent video that we did in Guadalajara when Lens Manuel Limon. Dude, that guy has so, like, I've never seen those pieces together in such a way. Like, there's some pieces that I've never had in my hands before, so it was incredible. And then at the end of the video, we go downstairs to meet one of his friends, and he just literally dumped a bucket of Lily Leda figures on the table, and my mind was like blown. Lily Leda in Mexico, for example, had a lot of overstock when the thing went down, and so they just started doing weird things like unpainted stuff. And they were starting to even do mashups. Like, there's a Lex Luthor from DC, Lex Luthor head on a I think it was like a rebel soldier from Return of the Jedi, something like that. But they did weird stuff like that, and I'm like, here's the thing, especially with Joe, when you get them all, what do? Like, you stop collecting, you're getting to something else, but you like Joe so much that you want to keep getting the same stuff. So you go either backwards and try to get the prototypes, which at this point it's almost impossible. Like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it was somewhat accessible. Or you go abroad and start buying variations of the cards and variations of the figures, and good luck with your wallet, man.
Yeah.
Because it never ends.
Plastic flag.
Correct. Eat the Jawas. There you go. So some of them were made, and for example, in Venezuela, this is a shout out. In Venezuela, they actually was due to a prohibition, like that you can see the hot mini diorama in the background.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. And I have like key moments like look inside the tauntaun and like things like that, or look in the bank tank. What was I saying? Oh, okay. That they basically, in order to promote local growth, there was all type of imports were forbidden by regulation, and so they have no auction, but to start making the figures themselves. And they got it from Argentina. The most were placed, and the training was from Argentina. And so the Argentinians were like playing dirty, because they were like creating new characters that didn't exist, and they were basically using the same buck of the same mold from the characters and just swapping colors, swapping parts, and coming up with a whole story about that characters. And the Venezuelan thought that was a legit thing, so they started doing it themselves. So there's like crazy stuff. And then there's like a Snake Eyes all white. And so when I ask, because I'm working on a documentary with the Venezuelans toy makers, and when I asked why is this guy all white, and he was honest, he was like, that was the only color that we had.
That's cool though. I mean, that would be a sought after piece, I think.
Well, the white guy that I'm referring to, let me see if I can grab it, because I happen to be in the your room. So you all know, I'm assuming that you know how a Snake Eye looks, right?
Yeah, there was a first version and a couple others. A lot of others after that, but
so many versions of them.
There was a swivel arm, non-swivel arm. Oh yeah, first version.
Yeah.
Right,
but his arms are different.
A chrome head, and it has a cobra emblem.
Yeah,
it's called the White Mortal, and
I like that.
Yeah, there's only 30 pieces known in the world.
Oh my gosh!
Wow,
that's amazing.
I never like to talk about monetary value, but this is like a $5,000 piece.
That's a sought after piece, I bet.
Yeah, it's one of the rarest Joes ever made.
Nice. Wow. Who made that one again?
Ruby Plaza in Venezuela.
Venezuela, okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
I mean, it's because obviously, if you go with variants in the Star Wars world, you will get into some cool stuff. But the variants of the variants are like, basically, Luke has a different color of hair, or like, but not that wacky stuff. That's so G.I. Joe.
Yeah. I seen you paused on that Jawa. That was that chick that was on the show on.
Oh my god, the crazy chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She signed the Jawa for me in one of the earliest conventions.
I was on a podcast the other day with her. She's funny. She's something else.
Well, that effing figures, I think is.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that effing figures. Yeah. She's hilarious.
Like if you go up, you go back to where you were up there. Let me see. Let me show you.
You had
something.
some insectoids
Okay,
there.
right next to the turtles. On the other side. There you go. No. Yeah. That one. Hit on that one. So these were made in Venezuela in the early 90s.
Oh wow.
And they're like rip-offs of Thundercats. See, that one isn't even painted. And I mean, they're like weird things and no one approved, by the way. There was no approval process. So they just went and did the cheapest thing that they could do. I mean, to find those guys with the bubble still attached to the car, it's just, look at that, man.
Wow.
And it was licensed. It's not bootleg like everyone thinks. Like they had a license to make like t-shirts and stuff like that, but they just went raw and said like, hold.
It looks like somebody bought the actual figure, made something real quick, threw it back in the box, and then take it back to the store and said, "I don't want this."
Correct.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
Wow.
There was a lot of misconception like 15 years ago because people were selling these as prototypes because they're unpainted, and it was just no, they're not prototypes. It just didn't paint.
There's a sectar there.
Yeah. Oh, there's the white mortal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There's more
That is
pictures.
cool.
Oh, that was promoting one of our podcasts now. That guy has like 20 different countries, and so this is the Brazilian, the Brazilian version. That's where the whole confusion of Cobra started, and they just decided to paint it like that. But at the same time, people think that this was like an artistic thing, and basically they were just using the time because the time to have the get the molds was limited. And so they were like, well, we already did our run of the Snake Eyes. Now let's just make another character and make an extra buck on the whole deal, without Hasbro knowing. Hasbro found out about this like in the early 2000s that they existed.
I'm trying to think of what Cobra body that is.
Flash.
Oh, it's Flash. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not even Cobra.
Not even Cobra. The head is a Snake Eyes and everything, but it's a Flash body.
Okay, the original Flash.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's funny.
So it's fascinating. I find it fascinating because they're not like booklet. This is supposed to be Thompson. Well, that's the name actually, Thompson. This is supposed to be
Breaker.
Okay. But they just swapped it and make these weird colors, and that's the thing. They don't look like bootlegs. These are not technically bootlegs because they were licensed. But he just turned them. I don't know if I have more pictures, probably not in there of the rest, because the rest was like Stalker was whitewash.
And these are non-swivel arms, I can tell.
Yeah, Stalker was whitewash because they were like, oh no, we're not going to be able to sell African American characters to our kids, and so they just whitewash them. Like Venezuela never made Scarlet or any of the girls because they were like, oh, Venezuelan boys don't play with dolls.
Oh man,
I love that. That's funny.
And the card is very interesting because although it says Return of the Jedi, and as you can see, it was sold in Target. When you flipped it over, and you can see the difference between the horns and the colors of the silver between the loose figure and that, because what happens is that these are the Mexican bootleg. What happens? There you go. It's made in Mexico. So it turns out that the line was in decline, and so Hasbro figured out that it was cheaper to make them in Mexico because the shipping cost was obviously lower. So they started making the last batch of figures were made in Mexico for a lesser cost than what it cost to make them in China, and they were distributed and sold in the U.S. So this is technically a little lady because it was made in Mexico, but for U.S. distribution.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool. Wow. I've seen all these variants. Whoa. Is this your room?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Dude.
See a diorama that I was telling you about the sand thing in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The car does. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, you got the sail barge going?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, like a little. Yeah, I love that look.
It's amazing.
I love how it looks.
Great. The George Lucas of vintage.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these guys right here, little.
Oh, jeez.
Well, this is not like a nice story because when they announced the movie and the toys came first, and I was just like hoarding them like before the movie, and then I saw the movie and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy this shit ever again.
I sold a lot of my stuff like right away. I did a purge. I started
Oh,
selling.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's one of my Joe. That's one of my Joe's. That's actually right here. Click on that image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at the mine layer, dude. The orange one.
See right here?
That's the what is it called? It's a variant, and they made it for like I can't remember the name. They made it for like this thing that came with a tape, music tape, and a story on that, and it just had songs and weird stuff on the tape. So they made tripwire in a different colors. It's just
interesting. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It's
like very hard to find because it was a limited run.
I had all of these except for some of those variant colors.
Yeah, those were the ones that I grew up with in terms of characters.
Slaughters. Bazooka, Spirit.
General Flag.
Yeah. Both versions are in there. Yeah, man, I gotta admit, I mean, I'm sorry for the audience because I know there's Star Wars, but I love my Joes.
Well, I'm a G.I. Joe guy.
You're G.I. Joel.
There's a flag.
The pictures on the left, like the land speeder, like Joel. It's a tight close up of that diorama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looks great.
That's cool. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Correct, literally. And I think the previous picture, there was a picture of there as well when the whole Obi-Wan thing came up. The one above that. There we did this like to promote.
Oh, Kenobi. Nice.
Yeah, with the Inquisitors in the back and all that.
That's cool.
What'd you think about the Kenobi show?
Horrible. I kind of like the Mandalorian. Like last season had deeper stuff than the previous season, and that's my flag right there on the.
Yeah, I had it when I was a kid too.
Yeah, season 3 of Mandalorian was rough.
It had some interesting angles, if you ask me. Like it wasn't perfect, but there were things like I don't know. At the same time, I go like, where is Grogu inside IG-11? Like, how come we don't have that figure like upon launch of the whole thing? You know, they're so disconnected. Oh, that's my Mandalorian shelves.
Well, I think there was a lot of uncertainty with all the failure that they had been having. They don't want to put stuff out there in the market people aren't going to accept. You know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that season was shot like 2 years ago. So it's not like they did it a month before and they have the luxury of changing something in between. By the time it gets to the air, the whole episodes are packed and loaded.
That's true.
And so, but my point is that the disconnection with Hasbro and them is horrendous, man. Like they announced as a HasLab thing the lightsaber of that lady from the show. Like, come on, man! Like nobody likes the character, and then, and then they were saying, "Oh, you're all racist." No, it has nothing to do with the actress of her color of whatever.
Yeah, it's just the character.
It's just a character that no one liked, and then you're gonna put your chips on that, and you're like, it makes no sense, man. It makes no sense.
The character was awful.
And then they come up with all this silly excuses like, "Oh, you know, it takes a year, and they blah blah blah." It takes Super 7, which is like a company that has less than 30 employees, are doing that stuff faster with a lesser budget. It's inexcusable.
That's the difference between being privately owned and publicly owned.
Yeah.
So these are the Boba Fett's you were saying that has the different variants.
Correct. You can see they're like different belts or colors of the chest or some faces.
Yeah, colorblind. They all look close.
You have the Rocket Fire Boba Fett too, right?
The vintage collection is right behind it.
Is it this one right?
It's not original. It's just a vintage
collection. Oh, you mean that one? No, that's a custom one. I wouldn't have $250,000 sitting on that shelf. No. Well, you know that I missed that opportunity to get it. It was 1998, and it was a show in Orlando, and one of the vendors had one, and he offered it to me for $3,200.
Oh,
once again, it was 1998, so I was like on a vacation, and like I had like a budget, and I go, if I buy this thing, I'm gonna be with $20 for the rest of the trip in my pocket. Huh?
Ramen noodles every day.
Ramen noodles, yeah, but I still have like 2 weeks left, and so I passed on it. I regrettably passed on it.
You never know, though.
Yeah, nobody
knew
that thing was gonna go so insane.
Yeah,
you can't predict the stuff.
Nope,
it's all a crapshoot.
It is.
Oh man, Space 1999.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
That has two pictures, I think. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, and then I go and do cinematic approach on it, and I that's my jam. Like it's really next door, and I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you bought this book. This was a good book.
Yeah, really
the
well
priest.
done.
I actually did it away to someone. It was a good book.
Yeah, Daryl is amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome. Some slave ones. What do you think about the fire spray thing?
Wow.
She did a documentary on it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
The woke agenda.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Don't
We're
get me
dealing with that too. Yeah.
Don't get me started with that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was awesome right here.
Oh, I've got those still.
That's awesome.
I like this.
Yeah,
shot.
that's where the series has started, and they hinted that this was going to happen. So
I should do a repaint on my 12-inch one.
Well, that one is
one
kind of
like that.
expensive to repaint, I guess.
No. I'd make 12-inch, so I got bigger ones. I want to do it like that. I have one of those.
Oh, a 12-inch should be like a slam dunk to sell it, because the Hasbro failed on that also. So
they're big.
Oh yeah,
the HasLab.
That was awful.
Yeah.
The paint job was awful on that thing.
Yeah, you can barely see my clone, part of my clone sections in the back.
Yeah, right in the top right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, this is a combination of multiple scenes and stuff. Like that bar, that I'm not a crafty person, like nowhere near what you guys can do, obviously, but that cantina thing, I use it with, like, the foam pieces that you get when you like buy a TV or something.
Oh, okay.
That's what I use for that.
Pink foam works good too. It looks good.
Yeah.
I love the pink foam.
Yeah, the Pink Panther. That looks good, man.
Pink foam and acrylic.
Yeah, bet.
These guys right here. Nice.
Like I said, it's like
that's
one,
a Kmart exclusive.
Yeah, it's like a big playhouse,
That's awesome.
Like, sitting down on the floor playing with my figures, and my girlfriend passed by and she goes like, what did I do?
Wow, this is amazing, dude.
Yeah.
What's the yellow Terradrome?
The
yellow one? Or is that just yellow?
What?
The Terradrome? Bottom right?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, Florida sun is strong, man.
Yeah, okay.
This is cool.
Like I said, I'm into dioramas, as you can see.
Yeah.
I like the way you display this stuff.
That is a way. I have also another rule, like if I can't display it, I shouldn't get it. Like I don't like stuff in the storage unit or whatever.
I've got a whole bunch of those figures in tackle boxes.
I'm sure, but like I get anxiety knowing that the thing is there. What?
Looks good, man. I like the way it looks.
Yeah. It came out really good, and then there's this thing with foam that when you spray it,
like
it eats up some of it, and then it gives you texture, which looks better.
Yeah.
With the aerosol, it melts it. Yeah.
Right.
Or use water and a heat gun, or water and a blowtorch.
Right. That sounds dangerous. Oh, that's another angle.
Oh, he's got an aliens on that.
Yeah, because the story with this one, right? The Hammerhead came from basically a mock-up of an alien figure that they had. They like kind of borrow some stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and eventually Hammerhead came up, because as during those days, there was a little communication, a little time actually, to make the figures between Hasbro and by that time Kenner, I'm sorry, and Lucasfilm. So they kind of borrow part of the of the alien creature to make Hammerhead. So when Brian Flynn got the rights and to do Alien, he wanted to pay back that, and so he made the alien figure with the Hammerhead colors.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah. It was a San Diego exclusive, I think. People will think it's a crime now to open it up because carded it goes for like a pretty good penny.
I open everything.
I don't blame you. You can see I do too.
And I smell it.
I just have two of each.
I smell it.
I love me some Robotech.
Yeah, that was in my Spanish podcast. We did a specials of every line.
Oh, Robotech is amazing.
Yeah. All right. Before you guys jump and judge, the top left are Canadians, which are like super hard to find. Actually, Forlum is also Canadian, and then the three, I don't know if I should call it three logos, but the rest are just the you know, the international variants of
tri-logo, I think is what they call them.
Yeah.
Right. And the Jedi Knight look on the green card is actually from Spain, and then everything else is like a weird variant. The C-3PO and R2 at the bottom are Japanese. I love that card. When you flip the card, everything in the back is Japanese.
Nice.
Very nice.
Oh, cool.
I actually like the movie sale I done. I thought those were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dig the line.
I had all those, all the U.S. power.
I had all in tackle boxes.
Yeah, mine's are in the
I sold them before I moved to Florida. So I was like, man, I'm not collecting these anymore. I kind of regret it now.
There's something. Well, in my case, it was like a sweet because that was during the dark times, where there was nothing out there, and so it was kind of like it got boring at some point. So when those things came out, I went back all gears into collecting. So I have like that somewhat nostalgia attached to them. I really like them, especially the red cards, which are the most hated one because they look like bodybuilders.
Yeah.
They had a mix-up too with the sabers that were really young, and then they shortened up.
Right. That picture up above, right next to the white mortal, like scroll up. That one, right next to the white mortal with that. No, the one below.
Indiana Jones.
To the left? No. You're almost
to the left.
To the left and up, and one up. That
All
one.
the stuff. Yeah.
That one. Like that's my background.
Oh, your current background in the room you're at right now.
Correct. And so all the figures on top, there are Star Wars figures on top. They're all foreign variants.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is this the one we have like staple into the ceiling?
Yeah. All the way up there. They're all like foreign variants. I just don't wanna there you go. I don't want to turn the right this thing's up here. I
don't know where TV guy went.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right there. So all of them are like foreign variants, especially the episode ones. They're all Italian. I think if you scan the thing, they all made like their lines in Italian.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're getting to the bottom of the hour. Time to do some outros. So Guillermo, this is about the time we start wrapping up. You know, we can stop.
Thank you guys so much for inviting me over. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a pleasure,
man. Like, love hearing all your stories. So where can people find you, man? What social media outlets do you use?
Oh, the one that you just showed, plastic crack film. I think it's the best alley because if you go to my personal, I barely pay attention to it, and it's just like work stuff, like the other side of me. So I don't know. Plastic crack film is basically the way to go. And then everywhere else, we are Plastic Universe.
Plastic Universe,
YouTube and Facebook and all that.
Awesome. And then Amazon has the Plastic Crack documentary.
Correct. You just need to put plastic crack and documentary. Don't forget to add the documentary, where if you only put plastic crack, you're gonna get a lot of stuff that you don't want to see.
All these
naked Barbie dolls.
I don't think so, but it's like weird stuff.
You get like LAPD crack stories, you know.
Yeah. My kid was
man,
wearing a shirt in one of the conventions with the logo on it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, and so people like he got a couple of times that people were like, "You're too young to be using that vocabulary." He's like, "What did I say?" Well, you're promoting using crack, and it's like, "Go talk to my dad, and he'll explain it to you."
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't think of that when we decided to call it like that.
Yeah, but it makes sense, right? Because it's an addiction.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you look at it, I'm actually showing someone that overcome addiction by collecting.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Different type of addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, this is
a healthier one. A healthier one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. As long as you have the money to do it.
Just keep paying your bills, man. Don't stop paying your bills because it's new, exclusive, whatever came out, and that's where things go wrong.
Yeah, the FOMO, the fear of missing out. We always tell people buy what you can afford, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't charge it.
I mean, it's gonna sound crazy coming from me, but just buy what you like. You don't have to be a completist. You don't have to buy everything.
Yeah, that's what we say too. That's one of our models here. Buy what you like. Don't buy it because other people bought it.
Or people poo-pooed it or whatever. If you like it, buy it.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know?
Yeah. Before we go, I got to put a word from our sponsor real quick.
This is Joel Hazy, and thank you for joining us at the lounge.
You keep running. You don't. We got to run the funny one. Run the other one.
No.
The other one that says funny on it.
This is Joel Hazy, and thank you for joining us at the lounge.
I love it. I love it.
Just catch a glimpse. Is that the rancor that you were talking about?
Yeah.
The smaller one. I got a bigger one.
I think it's huge.
He's got a bigger one.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot to play our what's in a box thing. I created this the other day.
Spice Runners Lounge. What's in the box?
I forgot to play it. All right then. So again, Guillermo, thank you very much for being on the show. Your time. It was good to hear your stories.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, next week we're gonna have Andy Myers on the show. He worked at Stan Winston Virtual VFX. He worked on Terminator, Spider-Man, Artificial Intelligence. I don't know. He has a whole laundry list of movies that he worked on.
Wow.
So that'll be miss that one. And so Guillermo, any conventions you're going to be at here in the next couple of weeks? Anything you want to plug in before we end?
No, I mean I'm very grateful with you all to invite me over, and I had a lot of he's even trashed yet. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this, and if anything, well, if you can give Plastic Crack an opportunity, but by all means, I would love to.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people, I'm just gonna say this a lot. Like a lot of people sometimes walked in with the expectation of, well, I thought I was just gonna see toys and collect. No, this is more like what's happening. On when I was doing this, what's his name was making the toys that made us. So I'm like, I don't want to do the same type of thing, and so I'm just gonna cross the street and talk to the collector. They're talking about the lines. I want to talk to the guys that buy those things.
Yeah.
It's like very even emotional at some point. It's very personal. It's very human stories.
Yeah,
but I relate because I'm also a collector.
Yeah,
I like this aspect because you don't see it. You see like Jordan Hembrow did the Toy Hunter a few years ago, where he was just buying toys.
This is making profit. He was just making profit. That was the show was about. I'm gonna get it for less to sell it for more.
Yep, he's just buying toys, flipping them. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Brian Weiss is giving you like the behind the scenes.
That's his name. Yep. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and yours is actually talking about the collectors and what they go through, which is cool because nobody really covers that.
No.
That was the beginning. Like, why you want to do this? Well, I'm kind of talking about me. It's just not so egocentric to be about me. So I'm just gonna grab a bunch of people buying like individuals, like-minded individuals, and just hear it from them.
You get the different stories, right? Males, females, different toy lines.
All right.
You get yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, guys. So if you haven't seen it, go watch Plastic Crack. There's 4 episodes for the first season. It's about 4 hours long. Yeah. And,
More or less.
season 2.
Season 2 is in the works. It's just
Awesome.
a few months ahead of probably probably by fall. I'm aiming at to be ready, because, like I said, I have multiple languages and multiple countries, and to put that together in a respectful way takes some time.
Yeah, a lot of editing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess on that note, we'll end it here tonight, and we'll see you guys next week. Scott, Joe, Brian, J2SO, thanks for being here tonight, and again, Guillermo, thank you, and everybody in chat. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
May the force be with you guys.